so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live on a beautiful Southern California evening where I am not dying of overheating. It's pretty nice out, isn't it, Tanner? Wouldn't you say? You've never been outside, never mind.
I didn't go outside today. Yeah, I don't know.
Cringe. Welcome to the show, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We got something different planned today. I hate to do this, but much like Wednesday, I have to express ship these announcements. Cringe. So I'm going to do that. Most things I would normally announce, I will not be announcing today. However, there's one announcement, or maybe two, that I quickly need to make before we get into it. First of all, Thomas S. Tommy boy, Tommy Versetti from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Thomas S. Timmy. Thank you very much, dude, for the fucking 100 United States dollars on Venmo 3 weeks ago that I just saw.
Wow.
I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. It's not that I just didn't care to announce it. It's that I simply didn't see it until like Thursday, I think. So I with haste, I put it in the notes. Thomas, thank you very much, dude. I believe you asked for Tanner's Venmo on Discord, and I said Tanner's Venmo is at Casey-Riley-2.
Dude, and was that actually him?
Yes,
that probably is.
Literally,
oh my God.
That is what happened. So get fucking scammed, Tanner. Get scammed, Tommy, whatever. Very much appreciated, young king. Very kind of you. And for real, that's a lot of money. So I hope you didn't actually mean that for Tanner. If you did, well, he's not going to see it. So
sure,
take it up with Venmo. Take it up with Elon. Anyways, welcome to the show, boys and girls. Now, one other announcement I want to make very quickly before we get into this special edition episode. The tournament, reminder, it's all live. Sign up. Figure it out. It's open to all patrons. If you wanted to join, see the rules, see the sign-up sheet, you need to join the fucking Discord, of course, which is linked in the show notes. And then make sure you go to new patron onboarding, link your Patreon account to your Discord account. I made a guide with pictures. It'll take you 30 seconds to do it. And then once you do, you'll see a category in the Discord called Tournament Resources, where you can find the rules, the general discussion to just chat, and then like a looking for squad channel where you can assemble teammates or pick teammates or what have you. I'm pleased to report that many of you have been using that resource, and that's great. So continue to do that if you wanted to run, but you don't exactly have teammates in mind yet. There's a little template at the top. Copy that, paste it, fill it in, bing, bang, boom, you're done. And then for those of you who are here live on Twitch, exclamation Tourney, Tourney, read a book, and you can get the rules there as well. So other than that, that is it. Again, these are express rush shipping announcements. Tanner, anything from you, you dumb Hawaiian shirt bitch?
No, why is my webcam lagging? Cool. Cool. I mean, I'm going to end the call and call back in.
I don't know why your webcam is lagging, dude. What do you want me to tell you?
I don't know either, bud.
Okay, well, try. Call back in. Just delay the show some more. That's totally fine.
It's not better at all. So cool, man.
Well, fuck your webcam. All right.
Fuck you.
Cool, man. All right. Other than that, okay, boys and girls, I'm very excited to get started. So here we fucking go. We're just jingling it up.
Just jingling it up, dude.
That's the best part.
Is it?
Well, the best part's when it ends, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Well, Oh man, that Four Roses, that's a manly drink right there. What do you guys know about a manly drink?
What is it, single barrel?
Yeah.
Select or not select?
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Whatever costs less.
I would imagine not select.
All
Yeah.
right, there you go.
It doesn't say select on the front, so I'd imagine it's not select.
Oh, that's still good.
It's okay.
All right, welcome to the Dropshot, a bourbon podcast where we talk about bourbon. That's a joke. Not a good one either. All right, today we're doing a Warzone Roundtable. We're bringing it back. Many of you very much like these episodes. And as we had said a number of times, we will be doing them on a fairly regular basis. And today, that is exactly what we are doing. Now, I thought, and Tanner thought, it would be interesting to get some new faces on here. Now, part of the impetus for this was some community feedback we had gotten a couple weeks ago, maybe months ago even, after a roundtable where there was some very spirited discussion, maybe even rises to the level of a tiff, a little scuffle.
Is this going to be as long as your Tarkov story?
No, it's not. A kerfuffle in the Discord, and people were saying, well, we need more average players in the roundtable, or we should do a roundtable of just like normal dudes who just play, who aren't 5 KD weeklies like Jake. And then I said,
fuck Jake.
Hey, no, not doing that, because why would we do that? And that was of course settled. And remember, again, as we've said also many times, this is not a democracy. So cool. However, there were some merits to some and that was I'm mostly joking. But we kind of all agreed that it would be a good idea to get some regular Joes, some Joe Schmoes, some might say shit cans, on the program and that's a joke, relax, to be the ambassadorship for the more average player, and that these people could serve the role of stand-ins, surrogates, who can maybe ask clarifying questions of points that are brought up or made, and maybe have a different perspective or insights that are valuable outside of the, again, 5.0 weekly KD players. So with that said, we do have some new faces, and so now we will introduce them. So let's go from top to bottom. Let's start with top left webcam.
The laggy one.
Who are you? Yeah. What's your name? Where can people find you? What are you all about?
My name is Tanner Dropshot. I have a Battlefield / Tarkov podcast.
Do you?
My Tarkov KD is 2.98. I haven't played Warzone in 3 months. And yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Tanner Dropshot, and it's nice to have you here. I know you've never been on a roundtable before.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
If you have, I certainly don't remember, because you're certainly not at all of them. And welcome aboard, and thank you for being an ambassador today.
Sure. Oh, is that what I am? Cool.
Yeah, correct. Yes, it is much appreciated. All right, next, Dr. J Webb. What's up, buddy? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I've been at all of the roundtables. Unlike Tanner, I'm good at this game. I'm arguably,
okay,
I would say fucking top 1% in multiplayer and Warzone.
Huge.
Giant brain here.
Sure.
Base and I talk about, you'll hear about him next, Political Hacks podcast, but I think I've been a member of the Dropshot community for almost a year now.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting roundtable for me.
Indeed it is. So many of you probably know Dr. J Webb, and most of the people here, in fact, but he has not been on a roundtable yet. And we asked him to join us tonight for his unique perspective, and because we, of course, love Dr. J Webb, friend of the pod. Thank you, Jay. All right, next, the lawyer, Esquire, named. Introduce yourself, sir.
Appreciate the bleep. I am Face Esquire. I am a Southern lawyer, man-child, reluctant COD player. I thought this episode idea was a terrible idea. I said it at the time, whenever this was going around. So here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, can
I'm a man of-
Yeah, hold on. I agree with Face. This is one of the few things we agree upon. This was a terrible idea to have us on this pod.
Oh yeah, I can see that now. Yeah.
I'm a man of the people, and today I am a tribune of the people. So let's go.
Huge. All right, thank you for joining us, Face. All right, next we've got directly underneath Tanner. Many of you may or may not be able to see him. You can turn up that monitor brightness. I'm kidding, dude. Jax, introduce yourself, buddy. Welcome.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jax. I've played with a couple people in the community. Been a part of the community for probably 10 months now. Been a patron for about 4 months. And I've been slowing down on Call of Duty recently. I've been playing more games since I got a PC this last month.
Ooh.
There's just way more games that I can play now because PS4 I could really only play Call of Duty because you can only fit one damn game on that hard drive anyways.
Yeah, especially if it's Call of Duty.
Yeah,
actually.
But I have like a 2.3 Warzone KD, pretty average, I guess. And yeah, I just like to chase kills, and I don't really vibe with Verdansk anymore, but Rebirth is kind of where I play when I play Call of Duty nowadays.
Cool. Thank you, Jax.
Good old
Much
Rebirth.
appreciated. We're getting some very strong enthusiasm from our next guest to the right, a returning beautiful face, Team EXE management member, King, young Raiden, aka Razinon. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. What's up?
Not much, dude. Very glad to have you back. Very much appreciate it. Our last foray into the podcasting world was very fun, and I enjoyed it immensely. And it's good to have you back.
For sure, man.
So, yeah. Next, moving on to the right, is me.
Hey, who's that?
I am
Next.
Hi.
Next.
Hi, my name is Razinon. I use an AKS-74U and Escape from Tarkov with PS ammo and fuck Giga Chads.
That's it.
And I play Call of Duty sometimes. So, anyways, and last, but certainly not least, and he's been having a bit of a rough day in the video game space today, and we've all been there. So let's be kind, understanding, and gentle. We have fan favorite, friend of the pod, Yummy Legs, aka Jacob Down. Jake Down, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, boys? I'm good. How you guys doing?
Vibing, dude. Vibing. And Jake is, you guys have he's been on the podcast a number of times. So we got some new faces. We got some old faces.
Yeah.
We've got some old faces who are new to this podcast. And nonetheless, without further ado, let's get into it. So we have like a number of questions here in no particular order, and we can absolutely go through these if we wanted to. However, I want to be clear that more important than getting through some fucking list, I want this to be a very open discussion, and we can go wherever the fuck the winds take us. I want this to be pretty lax and free-flowing, and we don't have to stay too focused really on anything. But to start things off, Face and JWeb, as the more average player ambassadors, I had asked them, though I did not require them, if they maybe had some questions based upon the last couple of roundtables, that things they didn't understand or they disagreed with or whatever, or wanted clarification on. And so now I guess I will say this: any questions or things you wanted to bring to this roundtable full of very good players and me? We'll start with Dr. JWeb.
Well, I was going to ask Face, do you want to go first or no?
Sounds like you don't have anything prepared as usual. Jason.
No. Here we go.
Whoa. Already.
Here we go.
All right, yeah, I've got one for these sweat lords. I don't know if this is absolute trash bags. I don't know if this is related to the last roundtables or not, but as the ambassador of the people, what's to the sweats? What's the most challenging thing about playing with someone who isn't as good as you? Like in other words, I'm like a 115. I think J Web is a 1-2 or a 125 in Warzone. So like, how can we make your lives easier when you decide to grace us with your presence?
That is super interesting.
That is a good. Yeah, go ahead.
Jax is raising his hand.
Oh, Jax is ready to go. Wow, look at that.
Jax
All
is
right.
plugged the fuck in. All right, go ahead, Jax. Go ahead.
So there's one thing I notice a lot with my normie friends that just play casually is they'll see someone sniping in the distance, right? They'll see the glint and they'll think, oh, I don't have a teammate within 100 meters. I don't have self-res. Let me peek this guy with my AR and he has a sniper. They get their head blown off. They're 100 meters away. We can't res them. It's like, if you don't have self-res, you don't have a teammate close to you, and you see someone that can and will down you, just you really have to play passive, always stay behind cover, usually just follow the better player around as much as you can. When I play with better players than me, I usually just follow them. I just run behind them, try to keep up with them, hit like most of the time when I'm in a gunfight and I have 2 guys on me or plus 2 guys, most of the time the guy that kills me is 1 bullet, and then 1 bullet would have saved the life or saved the fight. So if you can just land a couple shots here and there, that's really all that you need to do, and just stay right behind them, push with them, and just try to get in their head. You know what I mean?
That's a good answer. I will say, by the way, Raz did this to me on Tuesday. Cool, man. Figure it out, Raz.
What did I do?
We were playing Rebirth. I got sniped, right? And I'm laying there. I'm downed. He's in front of me. I'm like, yo, res me. I'm on the roof, so I'm safe. The guy wasn't on the roof.
Wait, was this on
Instead
Rebirth
of
or
just
Verdansk?
Yeah, it was on Rebirth. Instead of just resing me, Raz tries to peek the sniper again and fucking dies. And then we get squad wiped. I'm like, are you kidding me, man?
I literally
Have you seen his
Just
ego?
revive me, bro.
Have you seen this guy's ego?
That's so exactly. That's so annoying. So great question, because Raz does this all the time. All the time.
This is cap. This is fake news.
It's not cap.
I'm gonna need some documentation.
It's on the stream. I'll find the VOD. Don't you worry.
Please link me
I'll
the VOD.
clip it. I'll clip
I actually don't remember this. That is a good point, though, Jax. I agree, especially if you're like super far. Like, it's one thing if you're right next to each other and you have an AR and someone's sniping. You can peek him and try and shoot at him. You're not going to fucking down the guy if you have an AR, but sure, have fun, kid. But at least you'll be able to get a res. But yeah, when you are super far, it's super annoying, especially when they get down to 100 meters away. They're in the middle of a field, and then they're crying for a res. It's like, oh, absolutely I'm not resing you. What are you doing? Of course I'm not resing you. And then they get all mauled and fucking screeching. And that is not fun or exciting. So yeah, agreed. Hardest thing about playing with lesser players. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think another thing is not only confidence but like coordination. So like you're playing with like a group of like really good team. You know you're gonna push every single engagement most of the time, right? I mean that's my thought process. Whenever you're playing with a little bit less skilled or just like people that just don't play as much, really, I feel like it's more of like the way you take fights and like the way you take certain fights is just completely different. But whenever it's like, what is it called? I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry, I heard people outside.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, I think we heard them too.
No, but hold on, to like build off that. So like playing with like Jake, Open all them, like as an average player, what Raiden was saying is like, what I try to do is like, all right, what's the next step in our push? Okay, let's say 1 or 2 guys run into the building. What's most likely what the other team's going to do? They're going to try to wrap around, come around, and shoot them in the back. So where should I be? I should be up high, shooting down, giving call outs, letting them know that, okay, their back's cleared. They can keep pushing up the stairs. This way, like if let's say they're shooting from the 3rd floor, they can go up to the 2nd floor, face up, and get like plates in, reload, and do things like that. And that's how I try to play. And that's the biggest thing with it. If you're an average player, you got to play within your wheelhouse and like play to your strengths. If you're good at, let's say, picking on guys who are trying to make that huge like save of the game, you're going to shoot him as fast as you can and give call outs to it.
Yeah. When I play this game, if we can call it that, psychological torture device, I'm always the worst player in the squad because I refuse to play with people worse than I am. I'm like 1.46, 47, somewhere around there. It's like pretty good, better than average, not fucking great. But I play with people, Tanner, it's like 2.5, Jake, 5 cheats, Raiden, just demons, Cope, L, whatever. And what I've noticed ever since I started sniping more, it's been a lot. I've been a lot more successful, and I don't know if that's because I'm the worst player in the squad, or if it's because I'm just better at sniping than I am at like pushing a building with a sub. I think it's probably both, because as someone, and we don't have to get into this whole thing, but as someone on KBAM, it is difficult to be confident pushing a building with a sub when 90+% of people are on the sticks, and that you have to be fucking good to stay on and get a kill in that situation. Whereas if you're sniping, you'd actually prefer to be on KBAM than a controller, because aim assist doesn't matter when you're sniping, and the precision of a mouse is actually a sort of.
What did he say?
Aim assist. The precision of a mouse is actually more beneficial. So yeah, when I'm playing with them and I'm sniping, I feel like I can ping a ton of shit, which is helpful. I can give call outs, which is helpful. I don't die and then cry for a res, as I was alluding to earlier, which is helpful. I'm not lacking in plates. I don't need ammo. I need ammo all the time, but I need less ammo all the time, which is helpful. And then I can also get some picks. So, like if my 3 apes are pushing a building and like one of them goes to the rooftop and I just down him. It's like, well, I just made their push a lot fucking easier. That's helpful too. The only thing that I struggle with sometimes is there will be times where they all push and they all die. And then I'm sitting 100 meters back sniping, and I may not have gotten even one pick, and I'm like, see ya. And I just leave, and then I feel like an asshole. But then at the same time, it's like, well, if I was there, would I have made a difference, really? Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. And so it's hard for me to balance, when do I switch off the sniper to the AR and push with these chimps, versus when do I stay back and hope for a pick? And I don't really know how to do that calculus often.
I think you're trying to fit yourself into that really passive role whenever you're in that part of the squad, I feel like. So maybe that's why you're not pushing, say, in that scenario, is because you're thinking, oh, I am the not as good player with these guys, so therefore I would think to stay back and maybe help them out from a longer distance, and whereas you would have thought you would have died in that situation, kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure. It's just my question is always like, would it have made a difference? Would it have been better if I had pushed there? And then sometimes you can tell after the engagement, but it's like that doesn't really matter. I don't care about a post-mortem as much as I care about learning beforehand. All right, should I push this or not? How do I know?
True.
And I don't know.
I feel like certain things, maybe if it's like a building or something, if we're getting into specifics, I feel like a 4-man would still be tough pushing as that. It always is just situational.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm much more likely. That's actually a good point, because if there's like a team fight going on, and we're both like on walls rather than one building into another building, I'm much more likely to push up, Not necessarily just jump the wall or anything, but like get a different angle and be able to shoot that way.
Yeah, be aggressive kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. That's an interesting point. Yeah. Anyone else? What's the most challenging thing of playing with a shit can?
If you'd asked me this maybe 6 months ago, I might have had a good answer, but now I've been cheated on 17,000 times in this game. I don't care anymore. If you're playing, just don't be 12 White Claws deep like Pritch this morning. That's all I have to say.
Pritch was pretty deep, yeah.
He was 12 claws deep, huh?
What?
How did that experience go, Jake?
About as well as you can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care anymore. I'm just trying to have fun and use different guns. I'm not the sweat lord meta bitch I used to be, but
Yeah.
that's about as much as I can ask for, is just do whatever you want. Just don't be too drunk to not know what is going on.
A lot of people have that issue in this game, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You kind of got to play it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Numb the
Warzone has
pain a bit.
driven many people to alcoholism.
Oh, yeah.
And we're
Alcoholism, suicide.
Yeah. And Face, as our attorney, is helping us file a class action lawsuit against Activision.
Still waiting on those fees to come in first.
Well,
Well.
Patreon.com/the Dropshot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. Hopefully that helped. J-Web, did any of this make sense?
Face asked, not J-Web.
Oh, Face. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Face. How were those answers for you?
Oh, those were good answers, except for Jake's. That was terrible, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Cool, man. All right.
buy cheats.
Buy cheats.
True.
Yeah.
Dude, we
You
were
want
playing-
to help the team out? Buy cheats.
I played like 30 minutes before this
Got it.
started. We had cheaters in 4 games in a row on the island. It was awful.
Wow.
And I'm not even good.
Yeah.
That's every day now, literally.
That was
Somebody
actually
else
gonna
was
be
just
one of
saying
my
that
questions. Yeah.
in Discord. I don't know who said that, but maybe it was Bjorn said he ran into 4 in a row also.
I was
Yeah.
playing with Bjorn. Yeah, that was the same one.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah.
He is shadow banned, didn't he? Maybe that explains it.
Well,
Yeah.
Shadow banned? Wait, he's shadow banned?
I'm sure he is.
well.
Yeah, it's
Well,
possible. I don't know.
He's done
He
some
cheats.
things.
Just kidding.
Well,
Yeah, I would say
course he
he's got
I have a,
Damascus
Of
on his
course he
Cold War
has.
AK, so you tell me.
Yeah,
Well.
he has done some alleged things. Let's.
It's done some things, yeah. I would say, by the way, quick answer to this also. I feel like a lot of times lower skilled players have an issue like keeping up because it's like let's say you're constantly moving around, you're just slide canceling through buildings, you know exactly where you're going. Like you're not speaking to them because you're thinking, oh, they know what I'm doing because they're like my level. So I'm trying to get to this building as fast as I can and get up on the roof or something. And they like you just expect them to know that. And then you play with somebody and you realize they don't. And they're just struggling. They're far behind. And that, of course, leads into them getting like downed. Then you have to try to go for a res on them. So I feel like just trying to stay on top of your teammates if they're better than you is always a good idea, too.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, and I've noticed that actually. I know this isn't Warzone, but I've noticed that in Tarkov too. Is like, you know, I'm just running customs. I'm the port officer. I'm just running customs. And I'm like, okay, we're going to Old Gas. I see the smoke. This is where the exfil is. I've killed 8 PMCs. I'm ready to leave because I'm 90 kilograms, right? I'm just heavy as fuck. I'm trying to leave. So then I'm like just making my way toward Old Gas, which is obvious to me. And then Tanner's over here like, where am I? And he's trying to use his compass. And I'm like, dude, you don't need a compass. Look on the other monitor at the fucking map, dude. And they just
I don't
can't
have
keep
a map.
up.
You're the only one that still has to pull up
He
maps.
just can't.
Not me.
This is. We'll edit that out, and then we just have to like. I have to tell him like, okay, no, let me pull up your fucking Discord stream. No, you turn right here. Come on, buddy, you can do it. And then he walks past the big sign that says "Don't cross, or I'll shoot you. I'm a sniper scav." And then he walks by it and then cries in Discord because an AI sniper scav killed him for going somewhere he should have known.
There's AI in that game?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it is. It's AI.
Really?
They're
The
cracked,
AI's
though.
shit.
They're correct. They're correct.
No, they're cracked.
They're not. The
Okay.
scav bosses are.
They're
But
cracked.
the regular
They can
scavs
one-shot
are
you.
dog shit, dude.
Yeah, any of them can one tap you.
Well, yeah, Sure. Unless you have
Anyways.
an ult on like I do. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
a Chad.
So, okay. So what Raz is saying is stick with your teammates. Yeah.
yes.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for
No,
that story.
no,
Another
that's
great story from you.
That's well, it's a recount.
Just full of them tonight.
It's
bud.
not a story, it's a recount.
Okay.
It's a true and accurate recount of events. Okay, yeah. Fair. Yeah, I agree though, staying on it's just like keeping up. If you fall behind as like the lesser player, it's not usually a big deal until it is. Because if you don't run into trouble and you're like lagging, it's like, okay, well, we're just basically we're playing trio quads then in that case, which isn't great, but it's not the end of the world. But then like Tanner said, if they're lagging behind and then they get fucking, quadruple teamed and killed, well, now it is my problem. Because now I have to either buy you back or listen to you whine or go and try and res you, and now you're slowing the whole thing down and the whole groove is off. That's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah,
So-
great question, Face. Go ahead.
So I have a question. What's a lesser player to you guys then? Is it like someone who has like say a lower KD, or someone who just like has no map skills? If that makes sense. Like they have no movement skills. They can't like okay, we're pushing this building. Two guys need to push. One guy needs to be high, and one guy needs to like be behind cover to shoot. Like what's a lower player to you guys?
I'd say like KD is such a just ambiguous kind of stat.
Exactly.
Because,
It's a crutch.
It's because you could just go play solos all day and get a 5 KD, man. Like in all honesty, like, whereas, I think things where you can really judge skill off of is your not only map awareness, but the way you push like not only buildings, but also like certain groups. So like, I think I said this in like the last podcast, but, like whenever you can like figure out which teams to push and which teams to not, or basically that, I think that really tells you how good of a player is, because that's more experience based rather than say KD, if that answers your question a little bit.
I think the KD thing is super interesting because KD definitely doesn't tell the whole story, but it does tell you something. And
Tells you a good bit.
Yeah, I think the more I kind of think about this, because I know that there are players who have like I know that there's like some player A has a higher KD than player B, but I know player B is a better player. These things happen, and they happen based on a variety of factors, as Raiden alluded to. What playlists they play, how many kills do they go for, are they aggressive, are they passive, etc. And you can really stat pad KD. This is kind of actually, interestingly, what Tanner and I were talking about when we were talking about like our lifetime multiplayer KD. And I kind of made the point that, my lifetime COD multiplayer KD is like 1.5 probably. But okay, dude. But however, if I never went for camos and I was a kill streak whore and never used specialist, it would absolutely be higher than that. So anyways, the point there is that there are other factors besides KD. However, I think if you are below a 1.0, there's no chance you're not an above average player. It's not possible. So at some point, I think you can get a high enough KD to where KD actually doesn't tell the whole story anymore. But once you get a low enough KD, the story is told. You can't be really good. There doesn't exist a player whose lifetime KD is 0.8 who's better than someone who is 1.2. That person doesn't exist. I just don't believe that. But if you're like, but you could be like a 2.1 player who's better than like a 2.9 player. That can absolutely be the case, but not in the former. I think KD tells a pretty good story, but not the whole.
Well, yeah. Well, plus KD in Warzone also doesn't matter as much, because there are people that, say they go for like just wins basically. Their KD is always going to be higher because of like the way that they play, versus there are people that are insane at the game, but they're just always pushing everyone and like not caring as much because they want to get nutty clips, and then their KD goes down because they end up dying a lot of those times too. So yeah, KD definitely doesn't tell a lot of it.
You should look at KD and average kills, and
I think average kills is definitely a better average kills and like maybe wins is a good stat to compare.
Yeah.
If we're talking regular ass Warzone, what would you guys consider a good number of average kills?
Yeah, that was gonna be my follow up on that then.
9+.
9+.
Well, that's pretty fucking good.
Well,
yeah.
That's
I mean,
a lot.
for real good.
Is that good or average?
Yeah.
What did we say? Good?
That's good.
We said good.
That's really.
Yeah,
that's
9 is pretty good.
Averaging
yeah.
9 is really good.
I mean, I feel like that's like at least 2 standard deviations away from the bell-shaped curve.
I
I
would
know
say
on the
even more.
Warzone stats, like the website, like for
At
the
least, yeah.
the top 0.1% thing, it's like 8.5 kills per game for the top 0.1%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
0.1%?
Yeah, that's at least
That's a
3.
lot.
Mhm.
That's a lot.
So
You
maybe
have to
like
think when you talk
7.
average, yeah. When you talk
Yeah.
average, that includes.
Yeah, that's
When you get
I'm
really
saying
good.
2. I'm saying 2 at the most.
Yeah, because I think my average even in Warzone is like 6 or something.
Can you check
It's not a
that
whole lot.
metric? I actually want to see this. Is there a
Yeah.
a
Kills.
website
I can
It tells
only
you
see
in game, but then it
legend.
tells you on the website. It tells you more detailed
with on the COD
on
tracker
Warzone
website?
stats.
.gg?
Well, probably on there too. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a look at mine. That is actually interesting. Yeah, 1.46 is my lifetime cringe.
Embarrassing, yeah.
Yeah, super awful. 3.21
My kills-
kills per game.
Holy shit. Yeah, mine's
Yes.
5.26. Awful.
Well,
So yeah, for
So-
Legend, which is top
Yeah.
0.1%, is 8.93. I'm at
Yeah.
an 8.04 just for
Yeah.
Wow.
reference.
yeah, okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So how long is it, Jake?
How long is what?
How long is it again? Is it 8?
Well, Jesus.
Any cocks?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys just show us all? Let's all just show our cocks.
Well,
Oh wait, we're trying to get banned
Should've
today?
got-
Okay.
should've
That's-
got Pritch on here
You
if
should
that's
be
what
in
you're
jail.
doing.
Yeah,
did he do that on stream today or what?
Well, you can ask him.
I will definitely be asking
I'll have to
him.
watch
That's
that
a-
VOD. I'll be watching that whole 12-hour VOD tomorrow.
Oh, he
looking for
deleted it.
that.
He could not wait to get off to delete that VOD.
Well,
man.
I think he went to vomit after, so I don't know if he remembered to delete it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at Pritch's cock, but
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, again, I think KD does tell an interesting story. It's pretty good, honestly. Here's the more maybe a more interesting question is, if not KD, what would you base? Is there a metric that you can look at for some player whom you've never seen play before and know that they're good, or do you have to see them play or play
I think
with
it's
them?
more. I think it's more the watching them play. I've heard people say that a lot too, because I was watching Metaphor the other day and somebody had said something about KD, and he was like, I mean, KD's kind of out of the question. I'd have to see how somebody plays to consider them a good or bad player, you know?
Yeah.
That's your best thing, you know?
So then, like, what makes a good, let's say, an average Call of Duty Warzone player teammate for one of you guys out there? Then, like you said, what makes someone, like, what makes them like better than their KD?
Just like awareness, I would say, like just knowing, like
Yeah.
if we're this far into the game, like you gotta know the call outs. You gotta know like
IHOP.
you got like the little things. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, like when you die, you got to watch the kill cam and look to see like when the guy kills you to see where his other teammates are and call out how many are left on the team. Like little stuff like that.
Well, I've never done that once in my life, so cool, man.
Come on, bro.
So now
True.
Jake's giving me tips. Cool.
True. Well, you
it's
need
like
them.
you gotta-
You
you
need
want-
that.
Oh,
tip. You
oh.
need
I've
that
never
tip.
once watched a kill cam and thought, where are this guy's teammate? Because I'm just fucking molding because I died to dead silence, right?
Because a lot of people don't know that. Like you watch the kill cam and you can see where his teammates are. Even if they're like behind him on the kill cam, you'll see his name on the side of the screen. So you
Yeah.
can tell, okay, there's 3 left. There's 2 up. There's 3 up.
It's just one guy. Just shoot him. Like,
yeah, like you got it. Like those little things make the difference between someone who
good call out, stuff like that. Yeah.
like just being aware. Like you don't have to be the best. You don't have to have the best gun skill. Like you don't have to be
Communication, I think, is what you're saying.
with the movement. Yeah, like you just got to know what's going on.
Yeah, J-Web, to answer your question, I'd say game sense is a huge one. Like I'll play with some of my 0.6 IRL buddies, like 0.6 KD. Exactly, Tanner. And they die. They don't do any call outs. They don't know when to get loadouts. They don't know when to push. They don't know when to throw a grenade. And most of the time they'll ask me like, dude, should I throw a nade? Should I throw a nade? Should I go get loadout now? It's like,
oh, buddy, throw the
like
nade.
these guys need to know this stuff. But game sense is just a huge one. Like if you hear footsteps, a lot of the time, like if you are really dialed in, you hear footsteps, you can almost like know exactly where the person is. You can almost like imagine seeing them through the wall. You're like, oh, here he comes. I hear the footsteps. Bang, bang, bang.
Imagine,
you
huh?
bang him through the wall.
If I hear footsteps in this game, I have no idea if they're fucking up, down, left, right, sideways.
Wait, you hear them though?
Yeah, I was saying.
I don't know.
But I respect that. I respect that. But like, yo, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I hear someone.
That was actually one of the things I had written down as a question is, yeah, I've heard y'all talk about game sense a lot already. And like, I played Warzone so much where I feel like my game sense is decent. And then I play with people who are much better than me and I realize it's pretty average at best. And then I'll play a game like, I started playing Squad like 2 weeks ago a little bit, and I have no game sense in that game just because I haven't played it. So, yeah. I mean, do y'all have any like advice or something like that as far as improving game sense, or is it just kind of one of those things that comes naturally with playing with video games, or what do y'all think about that?
I mean,
Every time-
oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Every time you die, think like replay it in your head 10 seconds beforehand, for example, and think of what you could have done differently to not die there. That's what I think of. Every time I die, I think of why did I die there? What could I have done differently? How could I have outplayed this guy?
That's 1,000%. I think that's the best advice for every video game. If you have a failure, so whatever game that is, you get checkmated, you get checkered. I don't know what checkers is. You get goad. These are all board games.
You lose. You just lose.
You get killed in Warzone. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, so you experience some failure in any game. The first question you should ask is, was that avoidable?
Was he cheating?
Yes, that is the first question.
That is the first question, yeah. But in general, you're like, okay, could I have not died there? And what would I have had to have done to have not died there? And there will be times in Warzone, if they're cheating, for example, where you can honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say, it's okay, dude. There's literally nothing you could have done there. You were fucked no matter what, dude.
You could have been doing everything right.
Exactly.
You shotgun that beer.
Yep. And sometimes, here's what's kind of interesting. Sometimes you can make the wrong play and get the kill. And if you had made the right play, you would have died. That doesn't make the wrong play the right play, though. It just happened to work for this outside case. But you always want to play to the odds, as it were. This is more obvious in game like Hearthstone, for example.
I was saying, it sounds like
Cringe.
you're literally making it sound like we're gambling. We're playing like blackjack. Like I have to play.
Blackjack's a great example, yeah.
I'm playing the odds. I know either the dealer's showing a weak hand, so I'm just going to hold here. So, okay, this guy probably has a line of sight down this alley, so he's not expecting me to push this fucking weird angle on him.
Yeah. Gambling's probably hopefully a more well-known example. But yeah, like you can make a bet in blackjack that is statistically a stupid bet, but you happen to land on 21. And it's like, okay, so you won that pot. That was not the right play there. Hitting on 19 is not the play. But it paid off that time. Doesn't mean it was the right play.
I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks. I'll give that a shot.
Well,
don't do that. Please
Good
don't.
luck.
You'll get fucking strangled.
That kind of reminds me of what Jake Down said in one of the first roundtables. You know, you just stack as many things as you can in your favor to get the probabilities in your favor. And then, you know, if you lose, you lose, but you did all you could to put the odds in your favor on that fight.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, I would say made me a better Warzone player. Like, okay, like if I'm running from, let's say, point A to point B, okay, where's cover? Where can I like slide cancel? Where can I like, if someone's gonna start shooting at me, I know where I'm gonna slide into to make sure I'm good. And okay, I gotta play it up and everything, but like, hey, I'm getting shot from the left, I'm getting shot from the right, and you can tell your teammates where, so they can get covering fire on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big thing, especially in just the BR genre, is there's so many things that are just out of your control that you can't do anything about. So it's really hard to judge a lot of the times, like your situations and how to learn from them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the times, for example, when I'm playing Verdansk or something, me and my buddies will push up on a squad, and then a four-man heli just pulls up, drops out, kills us all. It's like, we couldn't have done anything there. We didn't have a vehicle. We didn't know that they were pulling up on us.
And we
it's like
couldn't have known.
things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Or the vice versa of that, of people literally just all sitting in a building and they're all ghosted, everything. You can't outplay that.
Yeah.
They don't make any noise. They don't show up.
Exactly. We not only
No
didn't
way
we
of
know,
knowing.
but we couldn't
They
have
have
known they
Roskin
were
on.
in there. So we
They
were
have Daddy
fucked.
popped while sitting still.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Eddie, stopping power, Roskin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah. So we kind of already touched on this, but I am curious in general. Tanner had brought up this point where it would stand to reason that more average players in a more average SBMM bracket / lobby would not experience the proportion of cheaters that people in higher SBMM brackets experience. And so I will ask you guys, Web, Face, how is the cheating epidemic impacting you? Do you notice it a lot? Or is this just something you see on Twitter by and large?
I think if I'm playing with people around my skill level, I'll still see them sometimes. Let's say I play for 4 or 5 hours one day. I'll probably see 1 or 2 cheaters.
Wow.
If I'm playing with somebody better than me, it's obviously going to be more than that.
Okay.
And I think that might have to do with them. Whenever they start a new account or whatever, they have to level up to y'all's lobbies or whatever. So maybe they're kind of
true.
passing through it on the way.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like coming up through, let's say, like AA, and they're just like, oh, hey, by the way, we're just going to start shooting people out of the air real quick. and literally, that's what happens.
Is that your experience too, Doc? You don't see that many cheaters in general?
Yeah. Now, I'm notorious for saying everyone's cheating, so Activision, great anti-cheat, and I won't accuse anyone.
Yeah.
But
True.
I mean,
But-
everyone does cheat in my mind. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
And then I already know the answer, but just for the record, Tanner, Jax, Raiden, Jake, you guys see cheaters all the fucking time lately. Is that correct?
1 in 5 hours. I would love playing Warzone if I only saw 1 in 5 hours. Actually, that's doable for me. Actually,
That's
That's
more
more
than
than
enough
doable
for me.
That's like
Yeah.
way more than
Like
doable.
I
Like
said,
Evan.
it depends on who you're playing with. Though, like
Yeah.
I play with Bjorn, and he's a youngin, but he's still pretty good, and he's in
really
higher
good.
lobbies.
Yeah.
Than me. He's in
Correct.
higher lobbies than me, and then we saw 4 in a row. You know, we won a game, and then we saw 4 cheaters in a row after that.
Yeah, and
and
these
it's
guys,
over
and we're
dance.
talking about blatant cheaters, right? Like guys who are just like fucking, just killing literally everyone.
Yeah.
Today,
That's not counting all the.
This guy had
wall
wall
hacks.
hacks, and he was trying to act like he didn't have wall hacks. So before he came to us, he checked his baby monitor, and then he put it
That's
back
the
down.
usual.
But he was just staring at us
Yep.
the whole time.
That's the
Every time.
classic.
Play.
the play.
That's the pace setter, as we call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pace setter extraordinaire. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 1 in 5 hours. Yeah, that'd be great. We're usually at about lately it's been like 4 or 5 in about 2 to 3 hours is usually what it is.
In about one session, that's about
almost won a game. Almost won a game. Not quite,
Maybe.
but almost.
Yeah.
I feel like I noticed them more towards the last circle more than anything, like mid game.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, that's what sucks
'Cause
about Verdansk, because you play the entire game and then die to a cheater at the end. It's like, cool, I'll
Exactly.
just go play Rebirth so I can
Well,
at
you
least
see
get
the-
kills and then die
you
to a
see
cheater.
The lobby just getting decimated. You're like, oh, it's second circle.
Because-
There's 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
If
Well,
there's
it's just
a
a matter of
cheater-
time.
Lobby's dead.
to this guy.
Yeah, exactly. If there's a cheater in your lobby, they will make it to the end. So they're either going to
There
kill
are some
you
bad cheaters
early,
out there, though.
Especially
Or-
with God mode now.
Oh yeah, that God mode thing. True. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if that's a bug or a cheat. What do you think, Raiden?
I definitely think it's a cheat.
Have
They've
you
got
seen
unlock
it
tools.
yourself?
They've got no. I have not seen it. But I think I have a friend because I'm in this Discord with a bunch of our friends.
cheats.
Bunch of
Wow.
cheaters. Got it.
Ooh.
No.
Oh.
He posted it on
See exposed.
on Twitter.
Make the Reddit thread now.
Oh no. But yeah, on Twitter he posted a clip where he found it in Plunder or something as well, and it was just like the fact that their system and software is that compromised is just beyond me, because that's stuff you would only see in like the older CODs, you know? Like you'd go play Black Ops 1 or COD 4 and you'd see dudes flying around, and honestly I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing that stuff, you know? Like,
Compromised
dude.
is the perfect word. The integrity of this entire franchise really is compromised. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Tanner and I were saying we see it so infrequently, because I've never seen it myself. I've just seen it on Twitter a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner and I were like, this might just be a bug. Because I feel like if it was a cheat, we would see it as often as we see boats. But we don't.
I mean, that goes back to the thing as well, because it could be just a small pool of people using it. Because think about those like controller AI learning ones or whatever, right? Think about those, how it was only like 100 people and then they stopped it right there. I mean, it could be the same case. Could be like 40 people using it, you know? You never know.
Yeah.
Or like Elle said too, it's the real expensive ones, and
That's a good, yeah.
I
wonder if that's true.
Cheater, so
I was
that's
gonna
why
say
he knows
that.
that. He's on
It
the
might
he's
be
on
the
the
real-
cheater
yeah.
pulse.
Let's
Elle
look it
looks
up.
into all
Let's
that.
look it up.
Wait,
I don't want
That's the worst
my
part,
YouTube
though.
filled with cheat ads, so you can look it up.
What's the big cheat website called?
Engine owning is what you
Engine
told me.
Owning.
You have a
Wait, so
premium
you're-
account.
Engine
Just go to
Code
your,
Raiden.
Tanner, just go to
Hold
your
on.
bookmark. Go to your bookmark.
Hold on. Let's just talk about that. Like, how if you're Activision, how do you not be like, hey, by the way, this website should be like fucking shut down forever?
I think they
Phase
tried
is
that.
They're basically getting drunk in their cubicles and doing fucking cubicle.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
all right. I did want to bring that up. But like,
True.
hey, by the way, here's
Allegedly.
here's $1 billion.
drunk to notice.
The fucking Chinese. Here's $1 billion. Shut down this website for us.
So engine owning is based in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Brazil, here's like $2 million. Shut this website down for us. Thanks. Bye.
That's actually an interesting thing. I've been to Carnival many times, so I've walked past, I've strolled past their offices with some whores. That's a joke. That's a joke. However, I mean paid women. I don't think all women are whores. That's not the joke. The joke doesn't matter.
They should be in jail.
The joke is that you're with a girl, right?
Whoa, man. Easy, man. Face as an actual real life lawyer said maybe it's not illegal in Brazil, which is why they can't go after them the same way they've gone after other cheat manufacturers. Can you say more on that, Face?
Not really, because I don't know what the law is in Brazil.
If it were the case that it wasn't illegal in Brazil, would that explain it?
I don't know if they could sue them here or not. They might be able to. I mean, they're definitely violating United States law by messing with the code. Whenever you screw around with code like that, there's a law against it, like an anti-hacker law or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know what the
Makes
law
sense.
is in Brazil, but maybe they're just untouchable, or maybe that engine owning company's paid off the Brazilian government or something to get people to leave them alone. I don't know.
Interesting.
This is all speculation, by the way.
Yeah. Would the government have to cooperate with the United States for a suit to go anywhere?
They could certainly sue them in Brazil. Now, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe courts there are messed up or something. I don't know. Or maybe there's not a law against it in Brazil, which would make it a problem. That's what I was saying on the stream.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay.
I'm not sure if they could sue them in the United States or not. I'm not sure what the law is on that.
Okay. Raiden, you were going to say something?
Wasn't there like maybe 6 or 7 months ago something about them taking down like the EO like website for a little bit or something? I swear I heard about this from Activision.
They
Or
took
was that
down
not along
some
the
cheat website. I don't know if
Or it was like an
engine
update
owning.
of it or something, because I remember like I can't remember if they had said something, but it was around the time Cold War came out and people that had engine owning, something happened to where they couldn't log into the game, or I can't remember the specifics, but I know they tried something with engine owning previously.
Oh, interesting.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
know.
if they
You don't-
did. Engine owning, by the way, doesn't have a God mode on their website. And also, It's $23 a month to get cheats. If you're gonna spend $23 a month, patreon.com/thedropshot, right? Join there instead. Let's do that.
We need more
Let's do
cheaters on the
that.
Patreon, dude. We need more cheaters.
Well, no. I'm saying if you're gonna cheat and spend that much, just spend it on me instead, so my cats can eat.
That's fair. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Teddy's losing weight, man. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Shout out to Teddy. Yeah, for sure.
He's an obese boy.
Yeah, well,
not for long.
Patreon.com/thedropshot.
Yeah.
I think he's lost 8 pounds recently. Yeah.
He was a fat cat. No, the bites.
Yeah.
He went from a capitalist to a socialist. All right, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go, fat cat. I don't know. It wasn't great. When you die, what is most commonly the cause? So, for example, if you die in Warzone, it because you got out aimed? Okay, Jake, easy. Is it because you got out aimed? Is it because of dead silence? Is it because of stopping power? Did you get out positioned? Did you get surprised? Did you just not know where they were there? So once again, the most common reason you die, what is it? And the reason I'm asking this principally is to see if there is some similarity between our ambassadors and if that is different or the same as any similarities that may exist with everyone else. So, J-Web, when you die, why is it that you died most of the time?
Cheaters all over the place. They're everywhere.
Okay. Well.
All right. Number 2 is either I didn't know they were there. Number 3 is we were outpositioned. So let's say we're pushing. Number 2 is always hard because if we're pushing a building and someone has ghosts and you're just coming in, and obviously you're checking stairwells going in, and someone's just laying down and being a rat. Yeah, you have to anticipate it, but at the end of the day, can you anticipate someone's laying down on their belly on like the 5th fucking level of that building? No, you can't.
Yeah.
Now, being in opposition is probably it's probably the most common where it's like, I know we're not saying making a dumb push, but we're making a push that the likelihood that we're all going to live through this is very fucking low. So we fucking do it because that's the only move.
And we still do it.
Yeah, we literally have no other move because there's a team fighting, like they have a power position up on the hills and they're just fucking mowing people down who's trying to push them. So it's like, all right, fuck it. We have to go the opposite way. And we're pushing into another power position. So we're like, most likely there's a team in this power position too.
Okay. Interesting. So you mostly surprised then, like you're not sure where they are. And then because of that reason, they kill you.
Yeah. Like and that's the hard thing. Like if we're pushing into like, let's say fucking Superstore. Right now, I would say Superstore is probably one of the most least dropped places ever. If I run into like fucking team or tomb there, I'd be very surprised.
Interesting.
At Superstore?
Yeah. When's the last time you played Warzone, dude?
You think right now?
I think it is less often than
if we're pushing into Superstore, I'd be very surprised that teams
times.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I haven't landed super. I don't ever land super. I never have because I'm not good enough. Wow. People don't do that anymore, huh?
I mean, some people do, obviously, but it's not.
Yeah.
As much
it's not the hot spot anymore. Yeah.
What about you, Face? When you die, what is the most common reason that you died?
So this actually gave me some follow-up questions whenever we get done. But if I get outgunned, like me and J-Web, I would say we're above average players. We're not bad players. We can aim the gun, right?
Yeah, you are.
So
you are above average.
Yeah, I mean, if I get outgunned, it's usually I got 2v1 or 3v1, or we're in a building and I've got like a AK-74 and they've got a Cold War MP5. You know, just got a better gun, you know. Otherwise, it's pretty close in the gunfights. I would say most of the time for me, it's probably surprise, which is why I was asking about game sense a while ago. You know, I'll be running across, say we're in lumber or whatever, and I'll be running towards a building and there'll be a team over to my side that I had no idea was there, and I'll get gunned down from the side or something like that. Okay. That happens a lot, which goes to A lot of that goes to what Radon was saying, just the randomness in game. Like, how could you have known about that?
It's just a BR. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But some of it's game sense too. Like, a better player might have known that team was there.
I would say for me, before we go to the good players, is
Good players. Thanks, Raz.
number one. Well, get outplayed.
Ask Face next then, because I'm better than Face.
Get outplayed. He says, holy shit.
Hey, anyways, you guys know what I mean. Relax. You are above average, as you said. It was shorthand. The reason I die most often is, I think, the same, is like surprise. I think it's either that I just die to someone I didn't know was there, or I don't fucking see them even though they're ostensibly on my screen. That happens far too often because MW is a dog shit game with the worst visibility of any video game I've ever played ever. So either that reason, or I just simply didn't know they were there and then they fuck me.
No, hold on. So wait, would you say that's gambling then? Like this person's like literally doing the dumbest thing ever. Like they're hitting on, let's say it's like blackjack. We use gambling again. Like they're hitting fucking 20. They're hitting on 20. Like this makes no sense what they're doing.
No. Because you're thinking what I might be saying is, okay, I know they're in hospital, but I don't know what room they're in. And then I like push into hospital and die because I thought they might be in that corner, but they were actually in that one. That's not what I mean. What I mean by surprised is I think there are no players inside of 300 meters, and then there's some dude prone in a bush who just destroys me. That's what I mean when I say surprise in this context. Now, that is most common, I think, or it's what sticks out to me as the most common in my mind. However, the other one, honestly, is that I push into a building or a room. I know he's there and I know where he is and I just lose. I go in a building and I lose. And what's interesting about that is that if I know some guy is behind that rock and we're both outside of a building, I am dramatically more likely to win that gunfight. Dramatically. Than when I'm inside of a room or a building. Because I think once you get inside 10, 15 meters, you have to be plugged the fuck in to win a gunfight in general.
Those right analog sticks.
Why is that, Raz?
Well, and here's the reality.
Out here.
There are pros and cons to aim assist and a controller, and there are pros and cons to keyboard and mouse. Let's be clear. I'd rather be sniping on a mouse. However, in that area, inside 15 meters, boy, you better hope you're on the sticks, dude. Because it's tough to miss. It's tough to miss. So I can win a gunfight. I can win a gunfight in a room, but it is very, very tough, and I have to be plugged the fuck in. Or they have to be weak. Or they have to have like a terrible gun out, like a kilo. And then I'll fuck them. And then Jax is molding, of course. But yeah, I would say that. But in general, to circle back, I would say most often for me, it's surprise. Now we'll go to the good players. When you die, besides cheaters, what is the most common reason that you die? Anyone? The floor is yours.
You can go first.
Shout out to this answer's for gift curse. 2 words. Aim assist. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like I usually die because I get just out position. That's what it is. People, I've said this so many times, especially recently. Positioning, I think, is way more important, and movement in Warzone. So these kids just slide canceling all around me. I'm just lost. I'm blended. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what building I am. I don't know where I'm at on the map. And they're just slide canceling. They're all of a sudden they're behind me. They're finishing moving me. They're mag dumping my body. That's usually what it is for me. Is I just simply they out move me, and I don't know where they go, and they just pop up. That combined with the audio in this game, and I'm just dead. That's usually what happens to me.
You're a Borpa spin. You're just in the blender.
I'm Borpa spin. Yeah,
you're Borpa spinning. Yeah,
I'm spinning still.
Yeah.
This literally sounds like fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Jax, what's the most common reason you die?
I'd say, considering when I usually play, I play quads, and it's usually with my friends who, two of them are like 0.6 KDs, and then my other buddy, he's got like the same exact KD as me. We play like the same exact way. I think he has like a 2-3 KD like me. And most of the time it's because they just not only that, but like my teammates just fail to shoot the guys. Like it's that simple.
They're just ignoring them. Oh, is that you over there? Is that you or the enemy? Is that you? It's like Tarkov. Who's that over there?
Oh no.
I'll put like 90 bullets or 80 bullets of my bullfrog into a kid.
Of your
he's
kilo.
one.
Well, don't
Stop
use
lying.
frog.
Stop using a kilo. He'd be dead.
He's one
13
bullet.
meters.
He's one bullet, and I hate to blame my teammates. I really do. But most of the time, it's because they just fail to shoot someone. They don't know where anyone's in. My teammates are just blended most of the time.
So
So
outmanned, really. It's effectively
Yeah.
you 2 versus 4, and then you
Right.
just can't win. Okay.
exactly, yeah.
So you're in a squad where you expect, perhaps too optimistically, that this is going to be a 4v4 gunfight, and then it doesn't turn out that way. So you're just literally outmanned. Okay, that's interesting. Raiden.
I mean, obviously, y'all know my stance on a lot of things, but I'm gonna take this in a 2 different things because obviously I'm a big Rebirth player, but right now I'm playing just about as much as both of them, Verdansk and Rebirth. In Rebirth, it's a very close map. A lot of my gunfights are within either prison, decon, biolabs, or within living quarters. Right? It's straight up. I'm within 5 meters. I mean, I like to pride myself in, my tracking levels. I feel like I have a pretty good foundation in tracking. I can't keep up. I just straight up cannot keep up close quarters, man. In Rebirth, I don't really care about third parties. It doesn't really happen too much often other than getting swarmed. But
That's true, actually, because you're in buildings so often. You don't really get third-partied very often, yeah.
So I straight up Rebirth is close quarter combat. I can't compete. I feel like that's the way I die a lot. I don't want to complain about it, but it's facts. It's how the game is. It's how controllers are designed. It's designed to be better up close, of course. However, Verdansk, it is straight up third parties, dude. Like I have been grinding Verdansk because I want to get these EXE videos out or whatever, and we want to do strictly Verdansk. And dude, it's like straight up third parties every time I die, I swear. Because a lot of the times, we're a squad of like just straight up sweat, so we're gonna stun the shit out of like a building, right? They're not gonna be able to move. We'll go push that, easily get the squad down. But then it's like there's another party right behind us, deadied. Like what's going on? Like where did you guys come from?
Yeah.
In the forest sniping me? Like hello?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Third party absolutely is a totally believable answer for Verdansk, especially. Yeah. That does happen often.
Rebirth too, honestly.
It does happen in Rebirth, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
It's just a BR thing, I think. It's the third party mechanic.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say, I think it is pretty. I think it's actually kind of likely that, like, when I play Verdansk with these fucking nerds who have played it way more than most people have, we don't get third-partied quite as often. And I think if you Team EXE guys keep playing Verdansk more, you're definitely going to die to third party a lot, but I think you'll start to die to it less.
Well, the guys I'm playing with are all like veterans on this game. Like I'm
Okay.
the new Verdansk guy. Like I mean, yeah, I'm the Rebirth dude. I mean, it's still the same concepts, of course, but like that's what I see in my vision. I guess is the third parties more than I see anything.
That totally makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like Tanner, do you feel like we get third partied a lot? Do we get third partied when we don't know it's going to happen? I guess.
I feel like that goes in hand to hand with positioning as well, like you had said, like out positioned. It's both ways kind of deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean more like out positioned, like we're fighting in a house together, and I don't know which way to go to try to outplay this guy. And that's what I've tried to get better at the last few months in Warzone, because I've come to realize like my aim's not getting any better. It's getting worse because I'm old. So I'm like, okay, I need to rely on other things. So it's like watching a lot of these good players, like say like Joe Will, that has insane movement and shit. I try to do dumb little things like that. Like you run out a door, you close the door, you open another door as you run by, or like, you know, you shoot glass out and jump in another window. Yeah, just try to do things like that to outposition people, because that's how I usually end up getting screwed over. So that's what I'm kind of learning is like, okay, that's what I need to do, because I can't just keep aiming at this one door thinking the guy's going to walk through it, because he's not. He's going to be behind me and shoot me in the back, right?
And that, I think, is actually Jacob's biggest strength from what I've seen of his gameplay. He's all right. But what he's exceptional at, in my view, is this. It's him and someone else in a house. See ya. Because Jake does the goofiest shit ever, and he'll do it. I've seen him do it for 90 seconds. He will do it. He's like, all right, I'm going to go up the stairs.
Wow.
I'm going to break this window, and then I'm going to jump out the other window on top of a Bertha, and then I'm going to get on the roof and go back to the original window I had broken, come in, shoot the ground so he thinks I'm up here, hop back out, pop Deddy, go through the front door, burst open the front door, but don't enter it, and then go back to the Bertha, get on the roof of the Bertha, get into second story again, and then finally you find the enemy pre-aiming the stairs, because surely he must be there. I've heard a cacophony of noises, and then he just kills him from behind. I think that is Jake's like, biggest.
It's just that NutriBullet.
It's just that.
So
just
yeah,
put him in the blender.
Wait,
yeah.
has Jake read Sun Tzu, The Art of War? Because this sounds like
Sure have.
yeah,
That sounds like a chapter by Sun Tzu. Put him in a
yeah,
blender.
like deceive
Put him
your
in the
enemy to
NutriBullet,
like
dude.
the utmost degree, and then like hop in the window and shoot in the back.
That's one of his most well-known proverbs, in fact, is put him in a blender. Yeah.
Yeah, and put him in a blender.
So now we'll take it to you, Jake. What do you die most often to, besides cheaters?
Either dead silence or just not hearing him, even if he doesn't have dead silence. That or cracked out right analog sticks. I mean, that's really all it is.
That's sticky L2.
Okay.
So you're just too good, is what you're telling us.
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude.
I wake up every morning and I
watch the
piss
guy- I
excellence.
watch the kill cam, and the second I'm dead, his aim goes all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, weird. The second the target is gone, your aim, you can't hit a goddamn thing.
So I want, okay, that's interesting. So I want to point out something interesting, okay? And if we have any psychologists in the chat or listening, you might have picked up on this too. The ambassadors, the average players, the things that they die to most often were things that were within their control. So theoretically, I could have positioned better or not pushed something I knew I shouldn't have pushed, and I would have survived. However, with the good players here, many of the reasons they die most often are the things that happen to be totally out of their control, and therefore, of course, it is not their fault. Interesting. Anyone have any thoughts on this?
Sweats are whiny.
That is very true, actually. I mean, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. Yeah.
I bitch
If you're-
more than anyone.
Oh yeah. If you're good at a game, you're gonna complain more than anyone because you're balding when you die. Yeah, of course.
By the way,
you pretty much all have like narcissistic personality disorder. So
well, I'm teasing. I think there is some truth to what I was implying. However, I will also say that if you are really good at the game, then it would stand to reason that when you do die, it's because it was something outside of your control, because if it was within your control, you wouldn't have died to it because you're really good. I think that's another possibility at play here. And I think you can I think this can cut both ways. But there are a lot of people who are very, like, you can go into a Twitch stream of like Symphony, and then he can die to something that is outside of his control, or what he sees is outside of his control. And then people in his chat, some of them will be like, dude, all you do is complain. Like, you just got outplayed. And it's like, okay, maybe that is true for some people sometimes, but also it could be the case that if it was within their control, they actually wouldn't have died because they're really good. So I'm urging everyone on either side of the coin here to reflect on that. But
Raz, are you asking me to give Jake a compliment? Because I'm not going to give Jake a compliment.
I was
His head's too
absolutely
big.
not
His
doing that.
head's way too big right here. I need to like break him down a little more so he can get better. That's my philosophy. I need to make sure Jake is like fucking number one in the world and everything, so I can ride on his coattails and make billions of dollars. So we're gonna break Jake down a little more, and then
for the record, I think Jake knows this, but Jackson, right on, I was mostly joking with the whiny comment. I mean, is it true?
Yes.
Yeah, but there's some truth to what Raz is saying, probably.
Yeah.
So.
I think both are true. I think Uber sweats do bitch more, and there is certainly a contingent of really good players who are children, and it is never their fault they died. And these people are cringe, to put it mildly. Most people, no one here is like that, of course. Maybe once in a while we will pretend, as Tanner has commented on a previous episode.
Sure.
We will pretend that we died because it wasn't our fault, but we know in the back of our head that, yeah, it was my fault.
Oh, yeah. You gotta make up an excuse real quick, as fast as you can.
Exactly, yeah. We all do that. But there do exist these really good players who it's like, dude, you could have won that. You just got fucking dunked on. And like, and there are, again, some of these people who will just never admit that. It's never their fault that they died. But I think most people, and certainly everyone here in all earnestness, is not that way, at least all of the time. We've all died and been like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh my God, my aim was terrible there. I deserve to die. This is a sentence I love to say is, I'm glad he killed me. Because I just fucking botched that whole thing. I just whiffed all of it. I deserve to die. I'm glad
you deserve
he
to
killed
die.
me.
Yep, that's a good one.
Well, in game, of course. Okay, let's settle down. In game, of course.
I meant in game. I mean, real life is serviceable, but I meant in game. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Anyways, okay, so let's move on here. Unless anyone has anything they want to add here. Okay, let's move on then. Rebirth versus Verdansk. I'm going to start. I have two questions on this topic. Which do you prefer? Is question number one. And then question number two is, are the skill sets and or play styles different or the same? And how different or similar are they? And what are those different play styles, if they are different at all? Or skill sets? Are they different or the same? And in what ways? So, Jake, we'll start with you. Which do you prefer, first of all?
I don't know. I mean, if everything is equal and if there was no cheaters in anything, I would much rather play Verdansk, because in Rebirth, I cannot tell you how many times I've died. When I wipe a squad, I'm low because I just killed 4 guys, and obviously a few of them hit me a couple times. So I'm plating and I have to reload. And then another guy just drops on me with a fully reloaded Fennec and kills me because I just wiped his whole fucking team. And now I have to plate and reload. And I can't do anything because he drops with the fastest killing gun in the game.
Yeah. I'll reload faster.
Yeah. Rebirth's awesome, yeah.
Cool. I mean, I like Rebirth, but that drives me nuts, dude. When it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I just killed a whole team and now I get punished because this guy gets to land with an SMG with a full mag in it.
Yeah.
Drives me insane, dude.
Okay. So all else
I would much rather play
equal
Verdansk.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And then are the skill sets different if you wanted to succeed? And are the play styles that you should employ different if you wanted to succeed?
I don't know. It's hard to say with Rebirth because I feel like some people can, like, if you have a squad who just wants to sit and hold a building, like, you could do that very easily, I feel like, in Rebirth and be successful. Whereas, like, for Verdansk, you're kind of forced to move. I mean, you are in Rebirth too, but, like,
very
not
late.
as much. You can just kind of move to another building. Yeah, you can move to another building and it's like, all right, I'm watching this door. You guys watch these doors. Like, you can just kind of hold a spot down, and that's fine. But, like, I feel like it is a different skill set that comes into play when you're playing Rebirth versus Verdansk.
So on the playstyle front, camping is actually more effective on Rebirth. That's an interesting statement. I agree with you. I had never thought of that though, and it's actually kind of counterintuitive in my mind, because Rebirth's so small. You would think that the most conducive playstyle to like winning would be to fucking be super aggro, but you're actually right. You can easily land somewhere on Rebirth and not have to move until like the last circle, because it's such a fucking small map. That's a good
You
point.
can look at the circle and say, okay, well, this is probably going to be in the middle of the zone for the entire game, so let's just loot here and stay here for the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas in Verdansk, you can't be as precise. You're like, okay, well, I think it's probably going to end here, but you never really know for sure.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think
point.
the problem with Rebirth in that case, with like the campingness and whatnot, is like all the buildings are very strong, like PowerPoints, if you know what I'm saying. Like think of just bio. You could sit top of bio or even prison and just hold that like the whole game and just look down and shoot people out in the open.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. So let's see, Tanner, Rebirth or Verdansk? Which do you prefer?
I'm going to say right now, Rebirth. When everything is going great, Verdansk is ultimately more rewarding. Because it goes both ways. So, like, if you play Verdansk and you're off to a good start, and then you end up dying some shitty way or to a cheater in the end, you're just like, cool, man. I just wasted all of that time just to die in the end anyway. So, like, what was the point of all that? I wasted my time. But if that happens and you end up winning that game and you drop, 10 plus kills or something, that's very rewarding. And you're like, dude, that was hype. That was fun. So Rebirth, I like right now because you can get a lot of kills and it's fun. If you're not having a good day on Verdansk, you go and play Rebirth. You're instantly having more fun. Rebirth has become very sweaty over like last month, though. I believe this is because so many cheaters in the video game, people have gone to play Rebirth thinking there's going to be less. And now there's a lot of cheaters there too. But at least Rebirth, you get into the action real fast. It's a better way to warm up to. I feel like Verdansk has ultimately better players, but Rebirth has people that are really into more like getting like nasty kill clips and stuff. Like people like Razinon like playing Rebirth because like you get nutty clips when you're really good at aiming. Because it's just you're constantly finding people, and that's very exciting to watch, I think. And that's you can't do that as much in Verdansk because unless you're hot dropping, not as
fast paced.
Yeah, it's just not as fast paced. So, for me, when things are going well, Verdansk, but things haven't gone well recently. So, I would say for like the past 2 or 3 months, I like Rebirth a lot more.
Do you think the skill set / playstyle is different or the same if you wanted to win in either of them?
No, I would say you need to just more focus on killing people in Rebirth versus positioning. Because positioning is involved a lot in Rebirth, but it's pretty simple. It's just like you get on top of the buildings. I don't know what people don't understand about that. You go top prison, you win the game. You go top prison, you kill the whole lobby, you jump off and land wherever the final circle is, you're on top of them, you win the game. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Rebirth Verdansk is all about positioning. All about positioning. You have to figure out like, where should I go? Which way should we get there? Which room should we camp in? What do we do now? The circle's moving this way. How do we pass this open field? Whereas Rebirth is just like, get on a rooftop, kill everyone, get to the final circle, kill everyone, the game's over.
I think that's such a good point. That the positioning is important in either, obviously, but the difference is if you're playing Rebirth, it is not very difficult, there's no cognitive load to figuring out where you should position on Rebirth Island the vast majority of the time. It's like, dude, get in a building, there are many, get on the roof of it, don't die, and then rotate in when you need to. It's actually super simple. Whereas on Verdansk, there are many times where it's like, fuck, where should we go? When do we need to start moving? You never die to gas ever in Rebirth. I've literally never died to the zone once ever.
I don't know if
Rebirth.
I've gotten hit to the zone.
Exactly.
I don't know if I've gotten hit by the gas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas in Verdansk, I'll die to the fucking first circle because I'm dumb. But that is not a mistake that is even possible to make in Rebirth Island, because it's trivially easy, not necessarily to position, but to at least, well, it is kind of trivially easy to position, honestly. I mean, it's tough to get stuck in the open on Rebirth. I dare say it's impossible if you have a triple digit IQ. So yeah, that's a good point. Dr. J Webb, do you prefer Rebirth Island or Verdansk?
I would say at this point in time, it would have to be Rebirth. Now, the whole like shooting up from fucking top buildings, I'll be a rat. I'll hide in the rat holes. You guys can shoot whoever you want. Yeah, you guys can shoot whoever you want.
And this is what
and then you
Jake was
rotate
saying.
in. Yeah, you rotate in, and I'm in my rat hole. You push into my rat hole. Guess what? You're dead. Congrats.
Oh, I'll kill you so fast.
Yeah. Well,
not in my home turf.
not in his house. Not when he's ghosted with a fucking street sweeper just ready to fuck your ass.
Yeah,
sure.
See
yeah,
ya,
welcome to the rice fields, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Well.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we did lose that war. Yeah.
Easy.
Okay. So you prefer Rebirth right now? Why right now?
Yeah, right
Why
now,
did you add
like
that qualifier.
because I really do enjoy Verdansk. It's to me like Rebirth versus Verdansk. There's no comparison, but just between like not having an anti-cheat and not having, let's say, a good skill-based matchmaking, you're having people who should not play against each other right now in this shitstorm. So you're having guys who have fucking crazy KDs playing against bots, and they're just fucking racking up kills. You're having cheaters who are fucking no consequences, just making crazy clips, and that's the worst part of your dance right now.
Yeah, it's fair. Face, what about you? Which do you prefer?
I don't think I'm saying anything new here. I mean, all things being equal and the game being in a good place, I would rather play Verdansk. I mean, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've probably played Verdansk 5 times. So lately it's been Rebirth, just trying to get away from all the nonsense that's going on in Verdansk. But, you know, today's experience, you know, all the cheaters and that sort of thing, we're going to have to figure something out. So I'm not totally sure. As far as the play style, for my loadout, obviously I'm using the car because
So easy.
but you know, it's sniping super easy. You just use your whole arm and point and click, right?
Yeah,
So
It's really that simple. Yeah,
Just
pretty-
click on their head.
Choose your whole arm, dude. Come on.
Yeah. I've
And,
never misclicked the file.
So like so in general, I enjoy the car because it's easy, and then I enjoy using an SMG because I kind of like to run around a little bit. So I pretty much use that loadout on both. And what I found is sniping is surprisingly effective on Rebirth. And you know, obviously you need a close quarter weapon. So I usually lately I've been using the car and the Mac 10.
Okay.
So you need that close quarter weapon. But yeah, I think what y'all said earlier about Rebirth it's really that simple. That's 90% of my wins are we win the initial battle wherever we drop, we get a loadout, and we go top prison, and we just wait for the circle to close in and just sit and pick, you know. And you'll get a win. Whereas I feel like in Verdansk, there's a lot more variables as far as the play style. And you know, if you're in a terrible position and you know it, well, then you gotta take some risks to try to get the win or try to get some kills, whatever you're gonna do before you most likely die. Whereas otherwise, if you're in a great position and you know where the circle's in, and then you got to be a little more conservative and maybe sit and pick. If you're trying to win the game, which generally me and the people I play with generally try to win the game, but we'll try to get some kills too.
Yeah, dude, I came to the same realization, Face, and I spoke about it in the same terms. It is surprising how effective sniping is on Rebirth, because we started playing Rebirth fairly recently with any consistency, and I remember saying on the podcast, I was like, dude, I'm surprised at how effective, like how good it is to snipe. Like I thought it would just be everyone using AR sub, but sniping's really good on Rebirth, which once you've played it, it does make sense, because yeah, it is small, but there's a lot of rooftops that people are on, and if you have a sniper, see ya. super effective, and you can just get those one taps. Totally agree with you there. But yeah, your points are well taken. Jax, which do you prefer, Rebirth or Verdansk? I think I know the answer, but for the people,
I'm sure everybody knows the answer. I run the island. I'm just kidding.
Well, okay.
He's the
Don't say
warden of
that.
Alcatraz, dude. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So Rebirth, at least since I play with 2.6 KD players most of the time, and then my 2 KD friend, we enjoy playing Rebirth more only because me and my buddy, we enjoy going for kills. And when we're playing Verdansk and my buddies just get murked right off the rip, it's like now we have to spend 10 minutes and find $8,000 just to buy them back from.
Yeah.
It's like we could have spent that 8 minutes. Exactly. I wish my friends knew this. That was simple, but
yeah.
Rebirth, they can die 20 times and me and my buddy can still drop 20 kills. But if we're playing Verdansk, if my friends die, now we have to or what is it called? We have to buy them back the entire game. It's just Verdansk is, and most of the time when I play Verdansk, eventually we'll have to run through downtown. We'll have to run around downtown. We'll have to run through Promenade or something.
True.
And there's always those rat teams that just camp. Always. They're always on the roof, no matter what. Like if we have to go around downtown, we're like, hopefully we can make it around downtown. Hopefully we can make it to the end game, because most of the time we'll just get dinked in the head and we're just fucking dead. It's like
C4.
Yeah.
That's another
Rebirth,
thing too. Go ahead.
Rebirth, I don't know. It's just way more fast paced. It suits my playstyle more. When they did the map change, if they made a real new map with half the buildings, half the size, it's like I would enjoy the bigger map way more with more players, obviously. But when I play with 0.6 players and it just makes more sense to play Rebirth, honestly.
Especially with, that's another thing too about Rebirth, is that because the map is so small, I just assume there's a team in every single solitary building I enter. And that actually simplifies things a lot. And again, it lessens the cognitive load. There's less to think about. It's like, okay, I'm going into a building on Rebirth. Well, someone's here. There's not much to this island. Whereas in Verdansk, you will die to campers a lot, because you will enter 20 buildings and not even hear anyone. And then you'll enter building number 21 and
Still not hear anyone.
And still not hear. Exactly. You still won't hear anyone. They'll be crouched with heartbeats out, ghosted, stopping power. Dead silence popped. And they'll just fuck your ass. So it's like you go into each and every Rebirth building under the assumption that there are gamers in here and you need to stay plugged in. And in Verdansk, you will get lulled into a false sense of security. We've been in farmland for 7 minutes. We've been looting up. We haven't seen a soul. Nothing has been opened. No doors are open. No glass is broken. There ain't a goddamn soul here. Wrong, see ya. You enter a building, wrong, and see ya. You're dead. And that is fucking super annoying, for sure. So, yeah, very, very well said. Rated.
One more thing.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Josh.
Raz.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
One more thing. For play styles, though, I think sniping on Verdansk is way more viable than Rebirth. Although Rebirth, you can get a lot of nice snipes on kids flying in because they have that spawn protection. The snipe can just dink them out of the air and one-shot them.
True.
Although sniping's really good on Rebirth, I think it's better on Verdansk. Like when I have an AR sub on Verdansk, most of the time if a team's holding me in gas and they have snipers, I'm just fucked, But if I'm on Rebirth and I have an AR and I'm getting held by gas, I can still make something happen. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, when Face and I were talking about snipers being surprisingly effective on Rebirth, that is not to say that it's more effective to snipe on Rebirth than on Verdansk. I think it's extremely effective on Verdansk as well. I think it's just more effective than I had expected it to be on Rebirth. Yeah, but sniping is just good. It's just good in this game, especially with plates. If you can get a one shot down, that's a 0 second time to kill, and that's a lot faster than anything else, especially compared to an average of probably 650, 700 on a fully plated enemy. So
Can you imagine if snipers on this BR had Cold War mechanics of no flinch and aim assist?
Oh my
fucking
god!
don't do that.
Would it be
Unfortunately,
playable?
I can. Yeah.
Would it be playable?
No way.
The game currently isn't playable, so it's hard to say. Could it get worse? You know,
As long as the hitboxes aren't as big as Cold War, we'll be fine.
that's a good point
Snipers.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a good.
Shoot
point
someone
too.
behind a wall.
Shoot 4 feet next to the guy and still hit him with the sniper.
Yeah, good old Treyarch. Shout
Shout out to Treyarch, dude. Shout out to Treyarch
Those
servers.
hitboxes.
Enemies of the pod.
Ooh.
Lag comp, so outrageous in every Treyarch game I've played. And I was reminded of that yesterday. Anyways, Raiden. I know the answer, but for the people. Rebirth versus Verdansk, which do you prefer?
I mean, I'm a content creator. I do daily uploads. I'm obviously going to go with the easier game mode because I don't want to sit there and stress 8 hours a day trying to get a gameplay on Verdansk. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to get at least 20 bombs on Rebirth each day, so literally going about that. Rebirth has made my Warzone, I guess you could say, career just a breeze, honestly. I can get my clips, I can get my flicks, I can get my tracks, I can get my squad wipes. I mean, all of the above in literally one game. And in one session, I mean, I can go through and get multiple 20 bombs, maybe a 30. You know, it's like, it's a world of a difference, literally, compared to Verdansk. However, when I play Verdansk, I enjoy the experience a lot more, if you know what I'm saying. It definitely feels more like a BR. It definitely feels more like a unique experience in comparison. I don't know if that's because I'm just way oversaturated in Rebirth, because I mean, for comparison, I have like a little over 15,000 kills in Rebirth, whereas in Verdansk I have like 3,000, maybe less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And you know, I came into Warzone late too, so going into Rebirth was like, it's basically like multiplayer. It was like a flip of the switch.
That's literally exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an easy transition. I didn't have to really learn the game nearly as much. All I had to learn was kind of the time to kill, and obviously it's not that big in the game. But yeah, Rebirth all the way, of course.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you were not a content creator and you only played for fun, let's assume that you would play Call of Duty at all.
You guys play in your off time?
Well,
Wow.
yeah, and of course, I know this is a complete fantasy, because if you played video games for fun, you wouldn't be playing Rebirth or Verdansk. But assuming you were,
What the fuck does that mean?
The game shit. That's what that means. Assuming
I play
you
for
would,
fun.
however,
I play for fun.
well, something's
Play
wrong
sober
with you.
once.
And your medical license should be revoked. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well,
What do you
Jake. Well, Jake said play sober. That's like out of that's out.
one time.
That's a
You'll
Bruce
That's
Lee
out of the
quote.
question. All right, let's
off your
yeah,
own
let's
stop.
let's just not do that.
Okay, so Keanu, again, if you weren't a content creator, would you still prefer Rebirth over Verdansk? Because most of the reasons you listed were for the purposes of making content, which are well-founded and I agree with, but I'm just curious what your personal opinions are.
I feel like I'd play Verdansk just solely because if I say I played the amount I did but didn't make content, I'd feel way oversaturated on Rebirth and not want to play it. Because really, I mean, obviously the only reason I played is for content. I'd much rather be playing Verdansk, of course, without the cheaters, but this is without the cheaters in the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 100% I'd play Verdansk. 100%.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And then the second question, do you think the skill sets to do well on both are the same? Do you think you need a different play style to do well on one or the other?
The biggest difference I feel like for Rebirth, I mean, I play solo squads a lot on Rebirth, so it's kind of different.
Oh.
So I feel like if you can get better at how you play against squads, you're not going to win in Rebirth nearly as much as you would in Verdansk. I feel like in Rebirth, recently is what I'm more hinting at, is people are hugging each other
Yep.
so much, dude.
So hard, dude.
Like I had went and played like a solo trios or something the other day, and it was like I never found a squad together. It was weird. I mean, it could have just been that like one day, but like in comparison, I think also because people are just a lot more close together, like building wise as well in Rebirth. But it's like I kill one guy, his teammate is already behind me. In Verdansk, it could be like they're in two different buildings, and I kill one of them, and the other one's like rushing
isolate,
30, 40 meters. Yeah, exactly. Isolate.
Yeah.
I think the skill set is about the same though, otherwise than that, because I mean, I'm getting 1.8 to 2 KD lobbies in Rebirth. Same thing in Verdansk. I'm getting 1.8 to 2 KD lobbies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much different. I'm getting the same sweaty, spamming jump guys. I mean, obviously that's what I do, but I don't want to play against myself like that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I'm so a couple thoughts I have. Most of you, if not all of you, said the skill sets are actually kind of the same for both. I actually agree, but I was surprised that you guys all said the same thing. But I concur with every one of you because I think the skill sets are largely the same. I think positioning is easier on Rebirth, but you still need to position. But everything else outside of that, yeah, same skill set. Yeah, it's an FPS game. And this is why if we took everyone here's Rebirth KD, Verdansk KD, and multiplayer KD, they would all be in the same league. And also, if your Rebirth KD is higher than mine, hey, I bet your multiplayer KD is too, and I bet your Verdansk KD is also. And that would speak to the fact that in reality, the skill sets are largely the same. I think if anything, the play styles maybe are different, but even then, not so sure about that. I think the only play style difference I would delineate would be in in Rebirth, it is actually more important that you kill people than it is in Verdansk because of, obviously, the resurgence timer thing. If you can knock out a bunch of teams early, so let's say you are top prison, which is where you want to be. If you can, like, squad wipe 3 squads, that makes it much less likely you get pushed top prison. It makes it much less likely that you get pushed by 2 different teams top prison, and therefore you are just up here and there's only 2 squads left and they're fucking doing their own thing super far away, and it's going to be incredibly easy for you to win. Whereas in Verdansk, getting kills and getting squad wipes and taking people out of the game, that's important. It's not important in the second circle though. It doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter. Unless you're cheating and you're killing that many squads, it simply isn't going to impact how your final circle is played the vast majority of the time. So I think in Rebirth, it is just more important to get kills and eliminate all of the competition, because you don't want to be in a situation where you let people live that you shouldn't have let live, even though you're on top prison, say, and then you have to rotate out and you fucked around and let 5 other squads be alive. It's going to be real rough for you going from parachuting in to fucking, decon or whatever. J-Web, you had a thought.
Well, my question would be, like, what made everyone good then? Like, in this whole, like, roundtable, like, what made the average players versus, like, the above average players better? Was it, like, thinking about how you died, reviewing film, practice, or, like, talent itself? Because, like, that's the hard thing with this game. You can, like, watch as much film as you want to watch. You can, like, think about, okay, what can I do better? How can I shoot better? But, like, what makes you a better player?
Real quick, I'm curious, how many hours do you play in a week?
Right now?
Yeah.
On average.
Not that much. On average, I would say right now, I'd say like at least 5.
Okay, since
5 hours a
Warzone
week?
came out, how on
As soon as
average?
Warzone came out, fucking during COVID, I was playing like 20 hours.
Okay. So to put that in perspective, like on Steam, back whenever COD was on Steam, right? I had it does like the 2 week hour time. Whenever I was playing Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, MW2, MW3, obviously I was a kid, I didn't have to do anything. I literally had 120 hour 2 weeks, which is like 60-hour weeks, because I was obsessed. That's literally all it comes down to.
No. So that's the key point I want to get into with it, because like when people like look at you guys like Raiden, they see like, all right, I could be that good, and it's like they don't understand the skill behind it, nor like how
Good luck.
how you can fucking like do it. Now, Face and I, we played college athletics, so we were like, oh, that's easy. It's fucking not. It's a fucking full-time job. That's 40 hours a week. So being a content creator and being someone who's done the fucking dirty, it's hard. So like being above average, and people are like, oh, how do I get better from this? Unfortunately, you can't.
It's just time. I think that's literally like repetition.
Reps.
I think there are a couple of factors at play, and Tanner and I make this joke a lot that we're old. And when we say it, most of the time we're joking. However, let me be crystal fucking clear. If you're in your 30s, you will never be even in the top 1%. No, I shouldn't get that crazy. You will never be a professional caliber first-person shooter player ever. You're done. You are not only are you too old, you're far too old. Your dumb old brain, and Tanner and I are in this category, doesn't work well enough. Sorry. That ship has sailed. And you can look up, you're a doctor, so you have PubMed bookmarked. You can look up studies on reaction time and its correlation to age. And the reality is that starts
21, it goes down.
That starts precipitously falling. Like early 20s. Yes, exactly. So if you're 30 and you want to be the best Warzone player on Twitch, kill yourself in game.
Yeah,
of course.
Good luck.
Not only is it an uphill battle, it is not possible. It is biologically impossible that you will be the best.
Well, hold on then. What makes you a good Warzone player then? Is it like, oh, I'm young, innate talent? Or is it like map skill?
That's what I'm getting to. It is a culmination of factors. Number one is youthfulness. You need to be a young, spry spring chicken. Number one.
Chicken.
Now
cool, man.
you can be super fucking good and be dying. That's possible.
Well, yes, it is. I mean,
there exists, like Stone Mountain, for example. I get the impression that he's in his 30s, right? He's still way fucking better than a lot, than millions.
Than you.
Well, of course, than me, but I'm also old, so that's not. He's better than millions of 20-year-olds. And it's definitely possible to be exceptionally good, even though you're old and dying. But you're never going to be the best. You're never even going to be close. And you have to also acknowledge that you're operating at a disadvantage. Your reaction time is not as good. And again, there have been, I would imagine, hundreds of studies. There's probably even some meta-analyses on this topic. But anyways, that's one factor. Another one is obviously playtime. This also correlates with youthfulness, because when you're 30, 35, you've got a kid, a mortgage, and a full-time job. Guess what you're not doing? Playing Black Ops 2 for 60 hours a week. You can't.
Yeah.
You don't have time. You don't have time. So that's another thing that, see ya, ship has sailed. Life happened. And then also I do think there is an innate quality that even if you were 16 at your peak reaction time and you had all the time in the world to practice, sorry, you're not good enough. You won't be. You can't be. For other biological reasons independent of your youthfulness or your capacity to practice 60 hours a week, what have you. There exist people who are just better than you biologically because of their brain, the shape of their hand, I don't know, the wrist ligaments they have, whatever. In the same
Kind of like
way
if you play
that,
basketball, like if you play basketball every
Exactly.
day for 10 years and you're
Very
5'6",
true.
you're never going to make it in the NBA.
exactly,
You know?
and that is exactly my point. There are just biological limitations that most people have. Now, unfortunately, it's more difficult to figure out what those are because no one cares what makes a gamer good, and fucking St. Jude's isn't dumping a bunch of money into those studies, right? Obviously. Maybe the Koreans
hold
are.
on. I hope St. Jude's isn't dumping that money. I hope they are dumping that money into like cancer research. So
Well, yes.
let's just go from there.
Yeah, I think they have their priorities straight. That is my point. Yes, exactly. But again, it's like it's very obvious to see what is the type of person that's going to make a good power forward in the NBA. Well, we can start by disqualifying everyone who's under 6'4" and less than 220 pounds. You're all out. I don't have to know anything about you. Don't care how much you practice. Don't care what your vert is. None of it matters. See ya. Leave. You're kicked out of tryouts. But with gaming, it's you can't. I don't know what to look at. You know, if you look at Raiden, and then you look at like me, you would say, well, this guy is
My brother.
This guy is skinny, fat. He has a pedo mustache. He's obviously old and dying. So you'd be able to figure that out. But if you looked at Raiden and then you looked at 22-year-old Casey, aka Razinon, you wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't know either of us who is biologically the better Call of Duty player. Whereas if you looked at me and 29-year-old LeBron James, you would say, "Oh, I have a guess on who's the better basketball player here." Right? It's just not hard to tell. But I think there is a biological component and a significant one.
And explain Gift Curse. The man, the myth, the legend gets cursed.
Okay.
With his 2-time repeat championship in this Discord.
Well, he got carried by children.
Yeah.
Got carried by Jake and then Raiden.
You know,
did he get carried?
My first question was, what was my first question? Let me scroll up.
Yeah.
What did I ask first? Like, what's the most challenging thing about playing with people that are worse than you? I should have just asked Raiden what it was like playing the Warzone tournament.
He's like,
well,
no comment.
Wow, that was brave. That was a brave thing to say.
Stunning and brave. Yeah.
Gift Curse will be fine.
Oh, he'll survive.
Anyways,
yeah.
The core of what you were asking, I think, J-Web, correct me if I'm wrong, is that how do you elevate yourself from being an average player to a good or great player? My point was that any average gamer can elevate themselves to be good or great. I think that is almost always the case, unless you have some very severe deficiencies. But this is kind of a small point. I don't know why I spent so much time on it.
Sure.
Let's be under no illusion. An average player will not elevate themselves to the level of a professional caliber player. That's not possible. And I know that's not what you were saying. I know that's not what you were saying. That's what I mean.
No, actually, that's what I was saying is like, I feel a lot of people think they are experts. They're fucking the best. And all of a sudden they get thrown into people who put you in the blender. Like, you're getting against them and you're like, what the fuck? How the fuck can they kill this guy? Like, their movement's a lot better than mine. And the first thing they're doing is like, well, Activision doesn't have an anti-cheat. So they're just cheating.
Yeah. Yep. And sadly, every death you have to question that way. And it does enable narcissists who can't possibly think that they just got outplayed to accept and acknowledge that fact. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get outplayed. Yeah, ever.
Yeah, exactly. First off, I want to let everyone know I never get outplayed. Everyone's cheating when they kill me, especially Jake or Tanner.
I should never even take damage. I don't even get it, bro.
Yeah, where's my god mode at?
You never miss, you never take damage.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think if you're an average player and you wanted to elevate yourself to being like good, I think like time spent playing the game is a component, but it's not enough. And there is a difference between practice and deliberative practice. And you have to actually work to get like better. Like if you're an average player and you go from 5 hours a week to 20 hours a week, will you improve? Yes. I think you will. However,
how deliberate are you?
Yeah, exactly.
if you're not deliberate at all, I think you will improve on amount. However, if you took those same 20 hours and you were super deliberative about improving, the gains that you would experience would be 70% more than if you were just, waving your dick around for an extra 15 hours a week. I think there really is something to deliberative attempting to get better, trying practice. This goes back to what Jax was saying. For example, when he dies, he asks himself, what should I have done there? How could I have not died there? What could I have done better? That is an example of a deliberative effort in practice to actually improve yourself. And many people don't do that. So even if you play more, if you're not doing things like that, if you're not asking yourself, what could I have done better there? You'll improve just by virtue of playing more, but you won't improve at the same rate that someone like Jax will, who is actually engaging his mind and wondering, how do I get better? And consciously thinking about it. Or someone like Raiden or MP Control Ward, he doesn't just play Call of Duty for X hours a week. He starts on Kovacs, which isn't fun to do, just getting better. That is literally the perfect example of deliberative practice, is getting on Kovacs. No one has fun playing fucking long strafes. Like, no one enjoys it. It's not fun to do, but it's deliberative practice and it will make you better. Hey, type MP Control Ward in Google and you'll see the proof in that pudding. You'll see it.
You can also see a picture of us too as well, Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, true. On Twitter, which was an excellent fucking meetup. But I think there is something to that. So I've been talking a lot.
I've got a question.
You're fine.
I've got a question for the sweats on this point. So like my old boss at the law firm I worked at, some guy was like trying to intimidate him, saying like, oh, I've done 60 jury trials. Are you sure you want to try this thing? And my boss told me, he said, if you've done something wrong 60 times, it doesn't mean that's something you should be scared of if you're not doing it right. You can do it as many times as you want to, but if you're doing it wrong every time, it doesn't matter. So like whenever I was in high school, I was big into ping pong. Okay, this is a weird analogy.
No, I love this. I love these face quotes, by the way.
It's table tennis.
I will crush all of you in the tennis and the table tennis.
I'll fuck you up.
But like this guy that I used to play with, he was older than me. He'd been playing a lot longer. He said, look, every day you need to work on something specific. Like if you're serving, work on trying to hit the back right corner, trying to put it just over the net. Or if you're using your forearm, try to hit the left edge of the table. Work on something specific while you're playing. So like that's kind of my question to the sweats is like, do y'all do anything like that other than Kovacs? Because who's going to go play Kovacs, right? But like in game, will y'all focus on one skill set and try to work on that specific thing?
Say that one more time. Like focus on like a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like are you focusing on one specific
Are there
thing?
times where you boot up the game and you're like, okay, today I'm only going to focus on getting headshots with an SPR?
Yeah, I mean, you can play 40 hours a week, but if you're doing the same thing wrong over and over again, you're not really improving. So do you ever
you're building
focus
bad
on one
habits.
skill set? Yeah.
I feel like the easiest thing that everyone could do is just like awareness. Like I said earlier about like the kill cam thing that like even Tanner didn't know. Like little things like that is what makes a difference. Like
so I'm dog shit. Got it.
Well, I'm just saying, like even Tanner, Tanner, a good player. Like,
well,
that's what makes the difference. Is like you watch the kill cam and you say, okay, I got killed. He has 3 other teammates. He has 2 other teammates up. Like those little things make all the difference in the world. Because then your teammates can play it different. Like I feel like
Only gets you so
awareness and
far.
just, like, yeah, like awareness and I don't know, trying to like know as much as you can about the situation as possible is like something that everyone can try to do. That isn't too
Really?
like unrealistic, because not everyone's gonna buy Kovacs and train for hours, but everyone can watch the kill. You're gonna die eventually. You can watch the kill cam and call out, okay, there's 2
That's a
up,
great
there's
point.
3 up, there's 4 up. Like that's much more attainable than a lot of things.
That's an excellent point. I agree. Focus. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. Go ahead.
I was say Raid. You were about to say something too.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, you, buddy. Were you?
Yeah, it was like a lot of the times, especially with Warzone, I feel like I have to focus on my tracking a lot. I mean, Jay, like you play K-BAM or you play controller?
I play K-BAM.
Okay, so like, say a good thing, like obviously Warzone is just heavy tracking, right? I mean, this is besides the point Jake had where it's like, I mean, there is more to aim, but I feel like once you get to a certain point of awareness, I guess you kind of like pinpoint on kind of what you want to do, kind of deal. So like, for example, recently I've really wanted to get those like people flying out of the air clips. So I'd go into Kovacs. I'd do these long, thin aiming where I'm just straight focusing on like stability and whatnot. And that has helped me improve not only with that kind of scenario, but it's helped me improve with like, say, you know, on the ground kind of stuff, close quarters even. But like in terms of focusing on anything, I feel like awareness is probably still your best bet, you know?
So now Face is probably listening as well. He's probably coming back. I can see him. But
He's
like,
got wireless headsets. I just noticed.
Yeah, we're
yeah,
wireless.
no.
Yeah.
So we're both college
not being
athletes.
wireless.
So like we watch film and everything like that, and like
Yeah.
we build off it.
So
and,
you'll know
like,
the process.
yes, exactly. So like you guys like, okay, you analyze your weak points and then you just fucking go through the drills over and over again. Like, how can I make myself better? Like, Grim actually said this to me once. It's like the tier 1 teams, like the guys who do like the Navy SEAL Team 6, they do that fucking like clear house over 8 hours a day, every fucking day, just to do it.
Yeah.
1 in the head, 2 in the chest, 1 in the head, 2 in the chest, every fucking day to make, well, they do in real life, but
Well,
just to
yeah,
make them,
actually, yeah.
just to make themselves better. And that's the thing that like, I think needs to transition to like Warzone, where it's like, people need to understand, like, there's players that are fucking a lot better than you, and you just need to accept that fact.
Totally.
Especially now, like the game's been out so long that even the people who in the beginning had much more time to play, like the people that have been playing like 10 hours a week, they're even so much better than they were before that it's closing the gap between the people that played 40
For sure.
hours a week.
Yeah, it's like Fortnite
as games
now.
go on, yeah, as games go on, especially BRs, everyone wants to win so bad that everyone wants to get better. So
Probably why
then
lobbies feel
just
sweatier
closing.
too.
And there's so
because
much
everybody's just
information
focusing.
out there.
True.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
so-
more and more
there's-
content
yep.
gets released. Everyone knows more about the game. Everyone knows all the same jump spots and tips
Yep.
and tricks and little
So,
glitches.
There's so
and
much
all that
good
stuff.
information out there. TrueGameData.com. Holy shit. You've got fucking graphs. You've got spreadsheets. You've got metrics. You've got meters per second. Imagine playing fucking MW2 and knowing how many meters per second your AK bullet traveled. Like, this is just insane. And there exist many people who will meticulously study these things and min-max to the degree that they can. And then there are popular content creators who will make guides to this effect. That's why everything is super cookie cutter at the upper echelon of SBMM, and it's for good reason. People would have probably reached these conclusions anyway, but boy, are they accurate with this shit, man. It's like, this is the best gun for all of these reasons. And then when 10 independent creators will say the same thing, they're probably right. And then you use the gun yourself and you're like, oh, they were right. This has no recoil. It kills in 650 milliseconds, and it feels like hit scan. Yeah, okay, they were right. Cool. So there's so much information out there, and that's not to mention, like Jake said, everyone knows all the jump spots because of Iceman Isaac's fucking videos on jump spots. Or they'll know how to rotate out of gas using the pinwheel rotation. Like there's even strategy guides that are very well done and very helpful. And all of these things help close the gap, because if there was no YouTube, how long would it take an average player to realize they should rotate in from circle, from gas, using a pinwheel rotation? People would figure it out, but it would be exactly. It would be far fewer people, and it would require hours and hours more into the game than they would otherwise need.
Yeah.
If I was coming back to Warzone right now, I could watch YouTube videos for 30 minutes and be like, not totally caught up, but I could be competitive, you know.
See, I don't know about that. So I was like kind of getting back into like Rainbow Six Siege, and you like watch all the videos and everything like that, and it's like the rotations and everything. Now it's a different game, but it's still fucking hard. Like getting the recoil patterns down and like figuring it out from there. If you played like more hours with it, yeah, you can probably.
Yeah, but you at least know what to work on as a result of those videos. You know,
that's very true.
Where some people are just totally fucking lost. And that was especially the case back in the day. But
when we didn't have YouTube?
Well, we had YouTube, but no one was making guides on like best
everyone was a
attachments
content creator.
Yeah.
And that too.
Yeah, that's very true.
No
that's very true.
Or Twitter.
TikTok doesn't teach you anything anyways. Not
TikTok,
for COD at least.
TikTok it actively misleads people. It is it is a
the kilo's busted OP.
Yeah, I got silent buffed. You guys hear I got silent buffed?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Kilo got a
silent buff, dude. That is Twitter. That is TikTok's favorite phrase.
According to TikTok.
Silent buffed. Yeah, huge.
It was a whisper, guys. It was silent.
Are we back?
All right, we're back.
All right, we're back then.
We're back, baby.
Damn, orange juice over here from J-Web, huh?
If you wanted to do that's a screwdriver, as the Irish would call it, because there is a considerable heavy pour of vodka in that drink. Is that correct, Dr. J-Web?
It's incorrect. It is Lord Hobo.
Oh.
What?
Cringe.
It's a Lord. It's like a Lord Hobo Juicy Lord. I have no idea what that means.
Clearly.
Juicy Lord.
And we'll edit all of that out, of course.
Effective.
All right.
It's effective.
Is it easier to do well in Verdansk or on Rebirth Island, Alcatraz, if you're sniping or if you're using an AR? Or does it depend on the player? Tanner, we'll start with you, bitch. Or anyone who wants to jump in, I guess. We'll start with Tanner because I called him out, but anyone can jump in.
Specifically on Rebirth?
No, in general, either.
Oh, is it easier if you snipe or use an AR?
Yeah, which is easier, if any?
Oh, boy. Honestly, I would say for me right now, it's sniping. I think sniping is really good right now, especially because the weapon balance raised the overall time to kill by about, a tenth of a single millisecond. So that's making snipers like that much better.
True.
And for me, I don't know, snipers, it's just, especially with the Swiss and the Car 98 in the game, they're too easy to use to just not use, to just use an AR. And I don't ever run sniper AR usually, unless it's like, well, I guess I will like a SMG type build of an AR, but it's like, when I'm running a sniper, I'm using like a fast movement gun with it. So it's like, I honestly haven't been running just like a long range AR recently at all. Like, yeah, I used like the Farah a couple weeks ago, but other than that, pretty much lately I've been using just like a Swiss or a car and like a Cold War AK set up for mobility, something like that. So for me, I think it's easier to do well if I snipe. Sniping is just too strong in this game. And it's way too easy.
I think that makes sense.
Too easy.
I totally agree. It is way too easy.
Way too easy. It's very fun. You get some really nice looking clips. Hey, I love watching Car 98 clips. I know it's not always the hardest thing to do, but those are the most satisfying clips to watch, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. This was the thing with Black Ops 4 that pissed me off. Why were knives and fucking hammers and slingshots and all that dumb shit really good in Black Ops 4, but not at all good in MW? Because the time to kill was slower in BO4. So every one-shot kill weapon becomes exponentially better as the average time to kill gets slower and slower. That's one of the biggest gripes I had with BO4, actually. I love a slow time to kill because it allows for good players to win gunfights, as they should, ostensibly. I mean, Activision disagrees, but the only downside of that really is that it's very tough to balance snipers with one-shot kills or shotguns, which shouldn't be in the game at all, but or dumb fucking melee weapons. I can't tell you how many times in BO4 I would see someone with a knife at actually 15 meters, and they would be running fucking body armor, cringe, and they'd be tac boosted or whatever it was called by Crash, okay? And they would just zigzag at me and fuck my ass and just stab me, and I'm just like shooting them the whole time, and it's like, this is so dumb. But anyways, that's kind of reminiscent of what Tanner is saying, is that as the time to kill gets slower in Warzone, which it sort of did with the last patch, Season 4 Reloaded, snipers get better because they're one-shot kill potential weapons. The time to kill of snipers never changes, but the time to kill of every other gun can, depending on buffs and nerfs. And as they get slower, snipers get better because you have more time to land just one shot and take them out of the fight. What does anyone else think? AR or sniper? Which is easier to do well with?
Well, from my standpoint, it would have to be AR.
Tell me
Because you're
more.
putting more bullet. Yeah, so you're, as an average player, you're putting more bullets down range. And I'm not the best sniper in any stretch of the imagination. So, like, to me, your objective is this. You're trying to make sure if you're shooting at someone, they're not shooting back at you, and they're not shooting your teammate who may be pushing forward.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So, like, I understand, like, your objective is you're trying to down someone to take them out of the fight. My objective is, if I'm shooting at someone, I'm making sure they can't shoot back at someone who's pushing up to the left.
Interesting. So you think of it more from a somewhat defensive point of view, whereas like if you're using a belt-fed PKM with 200 rounds.
The Bruin meta was probably one of the best metas for me because my objective was just putting fucking 60 rounds down range.
Just harass. Harass and suppress. Yeah.
Exactly. And
That
just
makes
letting my
sense.
guys.
That makes sense. Yeah. And ARs are more forgiving, obviously. If you either hit a sniper shot or you don't. So it's kind of an all or nothing play, but if you can get it on,
hit the shot.
Well, cheat. The
When
advantage
would you ever
is-
miss?
Yeah.
is,
And
I don't get why would you miss?
It's crazy because I have my whole
No.
arm to aim. It's inconceivable that I would ever miss. I don't know
you're
how it
dog
even
shit.
happens. Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So for everyone else who's like a normal human being who's not a fucking mutant,
Like me.
guess what? Yeah. Your objective is to make sure your team wins. There's going to be someone on your team who's very good at sniping. Let them snipe. It's very fucking simple. You don't need fucking 3 snipers. Just do your job. Make sure your guys can push up and you win the game. It's easy.
So ultimately, your answer, J-Web, would be it depends upon the individual's skill set, which is easier to do well with.
Yeah. So like, I know I can't snipe, and that's fine. I'm not gonna like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna pull out fucking a sniper rifle and try my best here. I know my strengths. I'm gonna play to my strengths to make sure I'm giving my team the best advantage there.
Okay, fair. Anyone else? Any thoughts?
I pretty much echo everything Tanner said. I would much rather snipe just because of what you said a while ago, Raz. I mean, you have your whole arm to aim, and why would I want to? If I'm using an AR, I've got to point and hold the button down. Whereas if I'm using a sniper, I can just point and click one time, and they're dead. So it's
Point
pretty
and click,
simple.
baby.
But
Yeah.
by the way, I play with face so much.
So
No,
easy.
but like I don't know. Like I feel like sniper. Once you get used to that car, at least I don't know about the other weapons, but once you get used to that car, you can use it on people from like 30 meters out, pretty relatively close.
Yeah.
And then if I'm running an SMG, I can also use that SMG in close quarters. And if I'm using the mag, I trust it 20 meters out. I feel like I can be moderately effective with it. So there might be a little range in there where I'm at a disadvantage, but for the most part, if I put myself in a position to kind of be a little further back than my teammates, maybe overwatch a little bit, then I would much rather snipe. It's more satisfying just hitting that button one time and seeing them go down. It's so satisfying.
That is absolutely
super
true.
satisfying.
Yeah.
So what Face was talking about too, though, then I'm trying to get closer. So if he's shooting someone who's 20 meters away, I'm at least within 10 with an AR shooting at the same person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It takes all types. I agree.
I think if you use an AR and you always land your first bullet, you should use a sniper instead.
Interesting, because that is an indication that you're accurate enough to do well with a sniper, and it would be better to use a sniper in that case.
Correct.
Because
maybe
you use the kilo so much that you land the first bullet and still lose the fight.
Whoa.
Now the thing about that, Jake, is when I'm getting head gushed by someone with a AMAX, I can just automatically snap onto their head with my L2 aim assist controller and just drill them with my kilo and just delete them. But no, if you land your first shot with your AR and you have like a 3x on or something and you're used to that, if you have a sniper, you're gonna down that guy anyways. So I feel like if you're able to land that first bullet, just put a sniper on and you practice with that and get the reps in, you'll eventually get to the point where you can down one, maybe two guys, and then your team has such an easier job clearing that team and just getting closer to the end game.
I think that is an exceptionally good point. And that's a great way to think about it too, is like, in my view, which I think is kind of what Jax is saying, I agree with all of this, if this is what he was saying, which I think it was. All things being equal, you'd rather be sniping than using an AR. Because like, no matter how fast an AR kills, it's not 0 seconds. It's not that fast. So like, if you can do well with a sniper and you can do well with an AR, you should prefer the sniper. Because you can just instantly literally 0 millisecond, take someone out. See ya. I agree with that. I think if you can do really well with both, you should prefer a sniper. As a primary. Now, obviously, you have two weapons, and that's why I would say sniper. It's not like you're only using a sniper. Because sometimes you'll be in a building, you're not going to get 0 millisecond time to kill. Maybe 0 millisecond time to die, but... Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. What's everyone's favorite weapon right now? With this dog shit meta?
Ooh.
M13?
M13,
what?
buddy.
Whoa.
Buddy. I mean, it's fun, sure. It's got a
Come on,
lot
just
of
pull
recoil,
down. Just
though.
pull down.
It's got a lot of recoil, man.
Let him speak his piece.
Pattern down.
Yeah, let him speak his piece.
Oh my god.
It's just so satisfying. I don't know why. I love
It's because you get so many hit markers, so it feels satisfying.
True.
Yeah.
No.
It is. That's why.
Wrong.
Listen, I love the M13, but it's not that great in Warzone. It's that simple. I love the gun. Not great.
Have you tried it in the last like 5 days?
I did. I tried it the first day.
Did it feel any
after,
different?
Sure. I tried it the first day after the big weapon balance overhaul that didn't actually really change anything. It felt basically the same, actually, which was fine. Dude, it sounds really good. It looks good. It feels good. I just wish it had more damage, to be honest. My favorite gun right now, though, is the Swiss.
Yeah, Tanner made the point that the M13, the movement speed is fucking terrible, dude.
Awful.
You
All
can't-
the MW ARs are.
With the commando?
You cannot use
bad.
Modern Warfare ARs anymore. I'm too used to fucking zooming around with a Tiger Team spotlight, moving at 40 miles an hour on foot. I can't use an M13 anymore. I can't use anything from MW anymore. But anyways, Tanner, you're saying you like the Swiss the most right now? That's what you're balls deep in?
I'm balls deep in the
Tell
Swiss.
me more about the Swiss. What do you enjoy about it?
One tapping kids through their dumb little forehead. It's just fun. The ADS with my setup that I'm using right now is really good. Movement speed's good. It's got excellent bullet velocity, so you can use it on Rebirth or Verdansk. It's just solid, dude. You just zoom with it. Like, you sprint faster with that gun than, like we were just saying,
literally
an M13 or something like that. Hey, if I want to run fast, let me bust out this giant sniper rifle, right? Because I'll run faster with that compared to like the M13 or something. So it's just, it zooms and it's really fun.
Balance it. The M13's busted OP, so
it's busted OP. Yeah.
By the way, that's literally true. You move faster with a Swiss than an M13. We tested it. We did a race. We did a foot race. At fucking Lumber.
We did.
And it's confirmed. Actually.
By how much? A lot?
Yes, actually a lot.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, a lot, dude. A lot. It's fucking insane. But yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't hear the M13 got silent buffed? You guys didn't hear that?
Well,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok.
it got 1 extra point of damage in its minimum damage range, which is a decent buff for an AR, but still, yeah. Are you guys gonna switch to high alert once it
won't.
counters dead
Never.
silence? Once
It won't ever
counters
change.
dead silence?
Never.
No.
Whoa, that was
Jacob Down. That's a very
Black helicopters.
take from you. You think it's never going to change? Tell us more.
They've got so much shit to worry about.
They already said it though. You think
That
they're just like
implies
gonna
that-
forget about
Well,
it?
they also said they fixed the bug
Whoa,
where you slide
buddy.
in your
Whoa,
it doesn't
hey,
lock, but that
settle
also didn't
down.
change,
That
so-
still works.
Settle down,
They're gonna
buddy.
screw
Speak your
it up.
truth.
Like,
Speak your truth.
high alert is gonna make you invisible or something. They're gonna screw
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah,
True.
they're gonna fuck
It's
this
gonna
up
make
one way or
your
another. So
footsteps not make sound. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Constant
I mean,
dead silence if you run high alert. That's what it'll be like. No footstep.
Yeah,
They said
speaking
they
of that
fixed
movement
the
thing,
camera locking shit when you
Mhm.
slide, and that isn't fixed. So
It's
yeah,
nothing
they will
changed
never-
about it.
Yeah, they will
Dude.
never
Ooh.
fix.
that has to be the most frustrating one too, because that gets
my god, dude.
it feels so gross.
That's
when
been
that
in
happens.
since day one of Warzone.
Yes. Like what?
Know what else has been in? Well, we're on the topic here. Playing Cold War yesterday reminded me. Isn't it fucking crazy how you can look at? I have a mouse here. There's two buttons.
on.
There's a
You have
right
a
mouse
mouse.
button
Yes,
and a
go
left
on.
mouse button. I can press the left button on Cold War when I'm dead, and it switches to the next person. So I can change who I'm spectating, right?
Correct,
You still can't do that on Warzone. I click to change spectators. This game's been out for fucking 18 months. It doesn't change who I'm spectating. What is wrong with this game?
I'm
bro?
shocked and appalled about the accusations you're bringing against our company. So.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
They're busy with
by the
other
way.
projects, as Tanner
we're-
said last
we're-
episode.
Yeah, Bobby's made a
You
few
gotta-
trips overseas recently.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves the
All
Lolita
going
before
Express
the
for
enforcement
sure.
we,
death of
we
one of his
take
buddies.
we take seriously
Definitely killed
every
himself.
accusations against us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
man.
so anyone gonna use high alert? Let's give Activision the benefit of the doubt,
hold
which
on.
they don't deserve. If it does actually allow you to hear players with dead silence, will you use it?
What
Won't matter.
category
I'll
is
be
it
dead
in?
long before I
Red.
get my loadout by 4 people
Yeah.
who have dead silence.
What's the norm? What's the
Let's
normal?
do it here.
Ghost.
Okay. Oh no. I
Dead
think
silence
that's-
might be
all right.
gone, but like they'll fuck something up, and all of a sudden, like stopping power rounds will be like 150% back.
That's a thought. Maybe they would buff the spawn rate of stopping.
Yeah, they'll
power,
just like do
actually.
something
helicopter.
dumb like that, and they'll be like, yeah, here you go. Here's
Oh,
fucking stopping power rounds on us.
possible.
Oh yeah, I love finding 5 dead silence in one room.
Jake just
Well,
made an excellent
actually-
point. Actually, though, usually when I die to dead silence, it's before I even have my loadout. It's at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
It's usually
And
never ever
he
like
gets their like fucking loadout, and it's like, oh hey, by the
That
way,
is
they're
interesting.
Right? I
That's
didn't even
a
think
good
That's what
about
I'm
that.
saying. There's
point.
not a it's not an actual counterplay because you have to acquire something else to counter it. So it's not an actual counterplay.
Yeah,
That's
the
a
Ravens
great
cringe.
point, actually.
They're not friends of the pod anymore. They haven't been
They're
for a while.
enemies. Yeah, they're
Oh, if you can
sworn
find
enemies.
$10,000 and buy a loadout by the time this guy and his entire teams find 4 dead silences, then yeah, there's your counterplay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
bad logic there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Tanner and I talked about this, and we agree with, I think, what everyone is saying here, which is no, it doesn't make high alert worth it. Ghost is just too good. It's too much to give up. and it's that
So-
simple.
And overkill.
Restock even.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 stuns.
If you just use a heartbeat, you still got a chance of seeing
Yeah,
the guy with
restart.
the Betty
Oh,
before you get him.
He's ghosted.
I didn't even think about that
That's a
too.
problem, yeah.
Yeah, you're
So-
usually getting overkill first anyway. So high alert. Yeah, it's the whole thing is fucking dumb. Oh my god. Yeah. Yikes.
They're gonna have
Well,
to
it's
rearrange
much
that
worse.
section again.
The more and more you guys talk, the worse this idea gets by Raven. Holy shit. Let's
Yeah,
send
this is
them
like-
this
Fuck
clip.
Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Fuck
my
Raven.
God.
Yeah. Clip it
It doesn't make sense.
at them.
So
I mean-
why is tune up the best fucking perk you can run?
You mean amped?
Oh god.
No,
No,
tune up,
he thinks
tune up,
tune
tune
up
up.
is.
Okay, give me 1
Tune up
second.
is-
Let's
Are you
get
an
J
RP?
Web out of here. Yeah, let's
Tune
One
up, dude.
moment.
How do I
please,
ban someone?
and
Fuck
see ya.
this dude.
Okay. All right. So we're good to go here.
Oh my god.
I will
Oh,
edit
buddy.
each and every addition to the program he's had. J-Web, use your call back in with the video again. I had to make a joke at
And
your
use your
expense.
brain this time, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's plug in J-Web, please. Thank you. Do you
Tune up.
unironically think
Why are you guys
tune-up
not
is
running
the best?
tune up?
No, of course not. What is tune-up
What
is
is- what
faster
does it
res
do
speed,
again?
right?
Oh my god.
Is that what tune-up is?
Yeah. It literally turned into like a troll perk till I'm like, fuck it, let's see what we can get out of this.
Tune up has gotten me though for self reses.
There you go. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Well, don't get
people-
down, Jack.
What's the description of it?
Go down and you won't have
Yeah.
to worry about it.
Don't get
25%. 24% if you have a self revive or you're reviving someone, it reduces their cost.
Stop getting down. Get better teammates, J
I
Web.
was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm an average player,
you
so
resurrect players yourself or otherwise.
true.
I'm the
25%
medic.
faster.
Yeah,
I'm
I run
ableist.
smoke-
That's
medic roll.
what it
I
is.
run smoke grenades and a fucking tune up.
Tune up.
So
That's actually Jake. We should remember that next time we have to play with Raz. We should both run tune up because he gets down so
Well,
often. That would come in handy.
well,
Actually, yeah,
Well,
24%,
handy.
24%. There you go.
yeah.
Just
That's
throwing it out there.
big.
that's another. On a serious note, that's another issue with Warzone is that in the yellow and red categories, there exist perks that are so much better than all of the other ones that it's very cookie cutter. No one doesn't use amped and ghost. Like some people use restock. They are like less than 3% of all players on Warzone rank.gg at least. And then for blue perks, there's actually some variation because they're all dog shit. But like ghost is just way too good to not use. And then amped is also way too good to not use. And
Yeah.
that actually
No.
really sucks because there's like there have been seasons in Warzone where there have been a variety of different guns you can use. For most of the game that hasn't been true. But you can even look at like the SMG meta right now as we speak. You see a wide variety of very viable good SMGs in Warzone right now, which is cool. And that has been the case for tenuous lengths of time with like primary weapons as well. And that is something that we have basically never seen as it relates to red and blue and yellow perks, since 2 weeks after launch when everyone figured out what the best perks are. That's unfortunate.
That's interesting you say that. Like, I hadn't thought about that until just now. Like, they've messed around with the guns so much, but they haven't really touched the perks. They haven't messed around with the perk meta at all in, what, a year? When this game
Since
first
launch,
came out,
literally, I think.
what was it was Cold-Blooded was meta over Ghost,
Correct.
I think. So
everything.
counteract, but they
Snipers,
never
yeah,
messed
everyone's
with it. Yeah,
control.
it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's something they should look at more. Like, they have the data. They know 90 plus, 95 probably plus % of players use Ghost.
That'll be
Let's mix it up.
overhauled when COD 2021
Vanguard?
seamlessly transitions
Slipstream?
into this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thought.
What was I going to say? Yeah, wouldn't it be interesting, by the way, because they were talking about there's going to be 2 new Warzone specific perks. Think of how much the game would change if one of those perks was really good and it was a red perk. Like something so good that people stop taking overkill first setup. That would really change up this game. entirely. Actually, if people weren't running like 2 primary weapons off through, it's going to be really interesting what they come up with. I don't know what could be better than that.
Yeah,
but you never know what they come up with.
That'd be my question. Like, what the fuck would it be then? It had to be something like literally outrageous.
Yeah, exactly. Which, you know,
it would have to be like Ghost combined with like Overstock.
No matter what that red perk would be, that would not be a good addition to the game.
Yeah, I know, but they may do something like that. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, that's.
I would hope they add like either 2 blue perks. It just doesn't matter unless they remove Ghost. That is
alter how it works. Yeah.
Yes.
Should I remove Ghost?
It would no. It would literally have to be like Cold War Ghost, where it's like if you're standing still for 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's how they should.
That'd be
change
great.
It.
That'd be great.
I agree. Unless they change something about how Ghost and Amped work, then no matter what perks they add, it's either going to be not impactful at all, or it's going to be so dumb and broken that it's going to be bad for the game. Exactly like the Sentry Gun, by the way.
So
Sentry Gun was either going to be really good and then cancer and not fun, or it wasn't going to be good enough to run and then no one would use it anyway, and then they did all this fucking design time for no goddamn reason.
What if you put Ghost and Amped in the same category and had to pick between them?
Ooh. Whoa.
Amped.
Should be a dev, huh?
So
I feel like that would be overpowered,
Are
though.
you into cubicle crawls?
Yeah.
Yes. How many GoPros do you own? Yeah. I don't know what I would
I don't
pick.
even know what I would pick. Yeah, that's actually kind of tough.
I'd probably go with Ghost, honestly.
I think I'd go with Amped.
Amped, yeah.
But then you have restock with Ghost then, if that's the case, which is overpowered.
True.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
True.
Warzone, hell yeah.
Which would be disgusting, yeah.
Don't give them any ideas.
Or just take away stuns. Easy, you know?
Yeah.
So easy.
True.
I think that's how you balance it, though, is you have to move the categories around. How do you do it and actually make it balanced? It's tough. You know, you have to think about it for a while.
Yeah,
it's doable. It's
they'll
not
never
something
do.
that they're not capable of.
My proposition would be to make Ghost function in the same way that it does in Cold War, which is where you have to be moving for it to work, number 1. And then number 2, remove Amped and have weapon swap speed by default be what Amped is.
Oh, that would be
usage at the same time.
That would be.
Yeah.
That would
Like
be
how many
great.
times is like Amped saved everyone's life?
Innumerable.
Every gunfight.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
gunfight.
Just about every gunfight.
Like really? You think so?
Yes.
Almost.
Unless
yeah.
it's a long distance fight, I'd say a lot of the time.
So that's how I look at it. Like
It's
we're
not
talking about
just the
someone who
weapon
had,
swap speed, Doc. It's also your lethal and
Throw
tactical
speed.
deployment
Yes.
throwing, and that's the biggest thing. Like
Yeah.
you can just
Okay.
instantly just fucking yeet that thermite. If you don't have Amped, it takes
So
you
then-
20 minutes. You have to schedule it in. Like, oh, I'm going to throw a thermite today.
Well, if you're
You
let's
gotta
say if you're
pencil it in.
if you're a smart developer, you take that out of Amped.
Oh.
Does that make it a better third perk?
The throw speed?
Yes.
Might
If you take that out, like if you're just going to be like,
Oh.
okay, again, switch guns faster now. That's it.
And that's
third
all
perk.
Amped does. Oh, interesting. That would be bad for the game, but it would also make Amped so much worse that you could consider running another yellow perk. Not tune
I would
up,
use
but another
tracker.
yellow perk, yeah.
Anything but
Tracker's
tune-up.
the
Yeah.
only other viable option.
Well, no, because like these guys are dumb like that. They'll pretty much take that away as soon as they can. They'll fucking try to do something weird like that.
I
Yeah,
think
so
you
don't
just
be
make
putting it
all
out into
the...
the world.
Yeah, let's...
Don't
Yeah.
be putting it out there, dude. Don't be putting out any.
I'll be-
No,
I'll
shit,
be
shit.
deleting this VOD
They
and
will
editing that
implement
out.
it instantaneously.
Yeah.
They listen to the pod.
Sorry,
Any
sorry guys.
any bad ideas you have, they will co-opt.
They will run with it instantly.
Yes. I think, again, remove Amped completely, have it have no functionality, and
No.
every benefit that Amped provides, make that the default speed. Weapon swap, lethals, and field upgrade deployment, that should be the default speed. This game needs to be sped the fuck up. That's one of my big problems with MDub. MDub is a fucking slow game, and what do slow games do? incentivize campers, because campers don't care if something is slow, because they're just camping and waiting. They don't have to incur a sprint out time. They don't have to incur an ADS time because they're camping. And that disincentivizes movement and incentivizes not moving. And that is not fun and exciting, because what does not moving mean? Camping. And then you don't know they're there. They're pre-ADS'd on you. They're not moving. They don't have to incur ADS or sprint out time. You run into them, see ya. You have 20 minutes left before you can start shooting your gun while aiming down the sights at them. But they're already prepared. They've already incurred that timer. And you're fucked. And that's why, like, BO4 was way different. You had gung ho, no sprint out time. Awesome. I could run and gun in that game, and even if someone's camping, I have a chance. And the ADS times were varying depending on the gun. But if you don't have a sprint out time, ADS time is a lot more manageable if you're running and gunning. MDub's just too slow. It's a slow fucking game. And the fact that amped is not like the default speed, cringe. If you guys have ever played Cranked, how fucking fun is Cranked?
Whoa, shit.
How much wider is the skill gap in Cranked?
It's so fun. I love Cranked, man.
And that's
Cranked
how the game
Warzone
should just be played.
Yo, Raven.
Cranked Warzone.
Hold on.
Warzone.
Cranked Resurgence quads on Rebirth,
Dude.
bro.
Like the 2-minute timer.
Bro, I'm gonna email Raven right now. Bro,
Good luck.
They'll read it. They'll read it for
Email
sure.
Yeah, no
Title of the
yeah.
email, bro.
Hit them up on LinkedIn. That's the only way they respond.
Yeah.
That would be a blast, dude. Yeah, I think crank times.
Oh, I love Cranked, man.
Yeah. Any crankers?
Cranked with MK2.
Crank went out right now, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways. All right. So, does anyone else have anything they would like to discuss? Cool. I have one more. I have one more question.
Ooh, one more. Wow, what is this?
And then we can do open format, or if you guys are ready to wrap, we can do that as well. But here is our last prepared question. What is the hardest thing about playing Warzone / Rebirth Island for you personally? And the floor is open. Anyone have any thoughts? Go ahead, Doc.
Wow.
So we talked about this before, but learning how other people's play. That's the hard part. Like learning how like other people push, how other people like stay back. That's my biggest thing. It's kind of hard. Like I typically stay back and I either make sure someone's not going to rotate in or rotate out. And that's something that as a player, I have to learn better.
That makes sense. What do you find difficult about it? So for example, I will watch, like I've been playing some Escape from Tarkov, so I will watch this. He's kind of a small streamer. Most of you probably haven't heard of him. His name he goes by Landmark, but it's spelled LVNDMARK.
Sure.
You know, he's an up and comer. He's budding. Big fan of his, and I encourage you all to support him. He's like one of the biggest Tarkov streamers. I'm making an unfunny joke. And he, streams Tarkov and plays the game, and I watch him play. And there are things that I've picked up on from watching him that I can incorporate because I know what he's doing.
Not much.
Using PP ammo in your 545?
Well, that's all I have access to. And I still kill more PMCs than you, like I did today on customs. What are your thoughts? Anyways. If you respond, I'll edit it out. So, anyways, so one of those things, for example, which is something I don't do, but I know I should, is that
shoot him in the head.
He'll only pack mags when he's looting anyway, and therefore he wastes no time. So what I'll do, because I'm a dumb noob piece of shit, is I'll kill someone or two people, 2 PMCs, demon time, like I did today on customs, and then once I do that, I will sit in a bush and just pack a mag and then pack the other one, and I'll be doing dick all while I do that. But if I was Landmark, if I was a fucking Chad, what I would do is I would go loot the first guy, and while I'm searching his backpack, I'm packing a mag, and I'm not finishing the mag. It doesn't matter. Once the search is done, I'm done packing the mag because we're not wasting time this way. That's like a tip I can do. However, there are many things Landmark does. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know. Can't figure it out. Don't get it. And they are things that I can't even tell you I don't understand because I don't have the eyes to see them. I'm positive there are things here he's doing that I'm not even picking up on, and therefore I won't incorporate them through osmosis because it's so far beyond me that I'm not even capable of absorbing the lesson. And I think that's kind of what
you're dumb.
Well, I think that's kind of what Dr. J-Web is saying. He's like,
Yes.
He's like, certain things I can learn, you know, like whatever, but certain things it's like I don't have the capacity to notice, or I don't know to look for it, or whatever, which I think is a very difficult problem.
Question. It's a very difficult question because, like, basing this off, like, not to like toot Jake's own horn, but playing with Jake and like watching how he moved and everything like that, like I understood, like, okay,
I know.
Yeah, he's bred different, so you can take it for that. I never played with Radon, so can't. Gifty did. 2-time champion, by the way. Gift cursed.
Gifty was AFK that whole time. I don't even think Gifty was there.
I mean, it is what it is. They can argue it out, but the hard thing is like watching how like better players move. It's like, holy shit. How do they fucking move like that, and how do you understand it? And that's something like trying to understand as like an average player is very hard.
I think that's one thing where deliberative practice would come in handy. Because if you watch like Joe, you can see what he's doing. You might not understand why or how exactly, but like, okay, I watched Joe. He slid 8 times, got behind the guy and killed him. You know what he's doing. You just can't do it yourself. And in that case, that is something you could do. You could say, all right, before I play Warzone today, or even in the middle of my match or in the pregame lobby, I'm going to practice my slide cancels so I nail it every time, and I'm going to do it back and forth. I'm going to like make sure I whip my arm around. You're not going to just be able to do that without trying to do it. And that is exactly, again, hearkening back to an earlier point, which is that's the difference between deliberative practice and just game time being willy-nilly. You could practice how to move better. Do you do it? But you should if you want to get better because it's within your grasp. But you would have to actually deploy some effort. And most people who game don't want to do that. But I always say you should want to get better at a video game because you play video games as an average gamer to have fun. And guess what's more fun than what you're doing now? Winning more often. So put in a little time to practice a little bit to get better. And the return on investment will be that the same number of hours you'll spend trying to have fun, you will extract more fun from those hours in perpetuity if you spend just a few hours of deliberative practice right now or early on or what have you.
I think mechanics like that definitely need the deliberative practice more than, say, like just aim aspects, because a lot of the times those kind of things are like niche to the games themselves. Like, for instance, I've been trying to play like Apex recently, and the movement in that game is like much different than Modern Warfare's. Like, it's much more unique, much more diverse. So it's definitely you have to put the time into it. That's what it goes into. And movement is a great example of that, I feel like.
Yeah, agreed.
I have a different answer here. The hardest part about Warzone is staying positive while playing the game. Seriously. Mentally. That's the hardest part about playing Warzone, because one bad game and you're down, boom, your day is ruined. The rest of your gameplay session is going to be awful. That's the hardest thing. Is like, seriously, it is difficult to try to stay positive after like dying and try to come back and start getting some kills again. It takes a while, because when you get shit on, you can get shit on twice. It takes 15 good kills to mentally come back and be like, okay, I'm back again. Let's do this, baby. You can't just get 1 or 2 kills and you're like, let's go. It doesn't work that way. You die once or twice and you're just down bad, right? So that's the hardest part for me, is trying to stay on top of everything, stay positive, think that, okay, I'm not going to get shit on all day today. Let's do better than this. That's the hardest thing for me.
That's a great answer. That's an interesting perspective. I didn't expect that lane.
Well,
yeah.
I majored in philosophy, so.
Well, yeah, that's why
I'm doing a podcast about COD.
Well,
everybody can relate to that one too.
You gotta come back pissed and want to shit on everyone. That's what I do.
What do you do, Jake?
I get shit on, and then I come back more mad, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm shitting on everyone. I don't care.
Yeah. Is that what you did earlier in Tarkov when you left the call?
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
I went and played my own. I killed Tagilla and Killa.
You went to take a nap, pussy, but sure.
Yeah.
Imagine napping when you're over the age of 12.
He had to get horizontal, dude. He had to get horizontal.
My flash drive back.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, that's secure flash drive. Back. Yeah.
You probably died too.
There's some intel on Cope Cowboy on that flash drive that needs to remain secure. Let's put it that way. But anyways,
wow,
that's an insight. It doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. Anyone else? What's the hardest part about playing Warzone for you personally?
The hardest thing for me is probably not getting upset at things I can't control. Like, I've gotten to the point where if I just straight up lose a gunfight, I can tell where, okay, that guy's better than me. We're using comparable weapons. He just beat me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But, if I'm like walking into a building and there's someone with Ghost and Cold Blooded just sitting in the fucking corner with a shotgun and I die, well, I'm probably going to get pretty pissed off. And if I get sniped from somebody 300 meters away that was been watching me for 30 minutes and there's no way I could have known them, I'm going to get pissed off. And that's just kind of tough to fight that sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
That's one of my bigger issues too. Is I'm actually totally with you. It's like if I fight someone and like I'm just like, man, he just beat me. I'm almost never mad in that case. Like I'm like, okay, well, good for him. Like he won. Like there was, I tried my best. He's better than me. See ya. Now, Razinon is making a stink face at that answer. And that's because...
Whoa, that's a stink face, yeah.
That's because, unlike me, Raiden doesn't find people better than him. But I find them all the time. So when it happens to me, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, that guy's built different. But it is extremely, extremely disheartening and frustrating when you die to things out of your control, such as people corner camping with Ghost with a fucking, fire, Dragon's Breath Jack 12, or someone cheating. It's like just, okay, well, I was never winning this, and it's just fucking annoying. Especially when you spent 20 minutes in that match, and you're having a great game, you're getting kills, you're having fun, you're vibing, you're cracking jokes. See ya. It's over. And it all just evaporates like mist, like a cloud of mist. See ya. It's very annoying, and it is hard to bounce back from. It's kind of what Tanner was saying as well. Yeah, agreed.
Cool.
Sure.
Any other
Jax?
thoughts?
Jake, anyone?
Jax, what's the hardest part about Warzone for you?
I'd say the hardest part about Warzone is just getting over, like, when you die to someone with a rose skin camping in the darkest corner of a promenade building, proned. Just getting over that is probably just like when you're rushing a 5-story promenade, like a big red, for example.
Yeah.
You push that, you're like, oh, I know there's a guy up in the cubby. You push up there's 3 teammates ghosted in the fucking bedroom closet, and you're like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do there? There's 3 dudes just ghosted in the corner. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
Just get over that. Just try not to get mad, because if you get mad, you'll get tilted. And the more you get tilted, the more you'll miss, and the more you miss, the more you'll lose fights, and it's just a downward spiral from there. So
yep.
Just trying to keep a positive positive outlook and everything. If you die to something that's out of your control, just overlook it, just whatever the fuck, you know. But if you die to something that you could have overcame, say he was standing on the railing, for example, you had a clear shot at the guy, you probably could have killed him. But if he's prone in the corner, black ass suit, you can't see the guy, you have no chance.
Yeah.
So there's just certain situations where you have to be like, okay, this situation, I didn't see the guy, I had no chance at killing this guy. But if you did see the guy, it's like, okay, I could have outgunned him there. But there's just, you know what I mean? There's certain situations where you could have outgunned him, you couldn't have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Combating the tilt.
I agree.
I agree. It's tough. It's a toughie. Yeah, for sure. Keanu, it's the toughest part of Warzone for you.
Dying to cheap mechanics cheap ideas, cheap gunfights, cheap.
You're saying the game
everything.
is perfect? What is wrong with you?
I mean, I'm sure nobody likes dying to Sigmas or RPGs. It's never fun. I mean, trophy systems are already harder to find than Dead Silence, so which makes no sense. I'd rather have, well, no, I'd rather have Dead Silence, but I'd rather go up against the trophy system. But yeah, like things like C4s, especially recently. I don't know if it's because maybe what was his name? Michael B. Jordan talking to Swag before, where he's like, "Yeah, I run a Sigma on my back." Like,
cringe,
come on,
yeah.
no.
Swag should have left that call right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Boycotting his films, yeah.
Don't call them films.
Dude,
Yeah.
stuff.
God.
Dying to stuff like that, paired up with people literally crouch walking around with their buddy. Dude, get that out of here. That has no place in a game. I don't care if you're milsimming. I don't want to see that. All right, dude. That out of everything that this game has, that probably tilts me the most. The low skill gap type of things that get me killed. It's just
Yes, low skill gap dog shit. True, dude.
nothing is
True.
worse than dying to somebody that you would have won the gunfight in if they wouldn't have done something terrible.
Here is my literal answer, and this is very niche, but holy fuck, nothing makes me more angry than this. When I die, watch the kill cam, and I died to hip fire. Holy shit! I get so mad, dude. I get so irate. Why is the hip fire that good in this game? Number one issue, cringe. Make
Why does it
people
always go to
aim,
my head
please.
too? Like,
And that is point
Always
number two,
headshots.
exactly.
Always
It's like, how does this
Yep.
fucking rat get so lucky?
Always a random headshot.
He's using a fucking SCAR at 25 meters, hip fire only, and somehow outguns me. Cool,
Bro, it's
man.
always a headshot with that random hip fire. You're right.
Yep,
Always.
every
fucking
time.
hate
That
dying to hip
EOMM.
fire, dude. God, it makes me so angry.
Yeah, you used to get furious at that in multiplayer
Yep,
at that
I
hip fire.
sure did. The hip fire's too goddamn good in this game. Far too good. Far
Only
too
for the
good.
enemy.
It's like suspiciously good, yeah. Like,
It's so
Like when it's you
fucking
hip firing,
stupid,
it
dude.
never hits.
Yes, true. And this is what Syrian said: skill-based hip fire, possible. Actually possible.
yep.
Actually,
Wouldn't put it
Wait.
past fucking Activision. Actually,
I've seen Symphony kill people with M-Dub MP5 from like 20 meters away,
Yep.
hip firing, dude.
Yep.
Oh, he's had some funny clips of that
I was
recently.
gonna say,
Yeah.
wasn't there like a court case where like they're trying to like prove that like Activision's hipfire with like Modern Warfare was different or something? It was like weird like that.
I don't
Well,
know if
there's
it was
a lot of-
court case. I think it was a
there are a lot of lawsuits at Activision
patent
right now.
or something.
Yeah.
I think is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a patent suit. So it was like something where they were trying to prove that like their hip fire was different compared to one game to the next.
I don't know if you can still prove that because that patent had come out in like 2016 or something weird. So I
There
mean,
was-
it could have
yeah.
been amped up. I mean, that's a possibility, of course. But I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some patents and
I know what
shit.
you're talking about though.
Jake,
The whole
what's the
game is
hardest
skill
part
based.
about Warzone? Well, okay, let's. I'll edit that out for sure. What's the
I
hardest
didn't
part
mean anything by that. I don't know what you mean. But
about Warzone for you, Jacob?
I just get too mad, and it's my own dumb
you gotta
fault.
just relax, buddy.
I let it get to me too much, and I cannot help it. I try my hardest. I cannot help it.
Yeah.
I see a guy, he's got cold-blooded and tracker, and he just shits on me.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it just drives me insane.
Hit fire with
That's
that
it
headshot,
right
bro.
there.
He's got it.
Oh, I
That kid knows what
try
he's doing.
every time. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play today. I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna not get mad, and then I get killed, and it's like, well, there goes that plan.
Yeah.
The whole plan is just gone.
Told you,
out the
mental,
window.
dude. It's all mental.
really
Warzone
is,
is
man.
more mental
It really
than
is.
anything.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, that's my answer.
All right, boys. Anything else you wanted to discuss, talk about, add this evening?
I mean,
Let's hear it, Jake. Let's hear it, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Whoa.
we could get into some right stick.
Whoa, come
Okay,
on.
tell us.
Easy
Hold
now.
on. So Jake
Easy.
is a recent convert from the sticks to the keys, and he's talking about the
Oh,
right
boy.
stick. What about the right stick
Can I
prompted
ask you
you
a
to
question?
want to discuss that?
Can I
item?
ask Jake? Can I ask Jake a question on behalf of Gift Curse?
Absolutely.
All right,
Yes,
so
of
I
course.
feel like Gift Curse would endorse
Whoa.
this question. Okay, if you really think aim assist on controller
Why
is
don't you
so
play on
broken
controller?
and so much better, why don't you play on controller?
Because
Stop bitching about it.
playing on keyboard and mouse is so much more fun.
It is
I
more
agree.
fun.
It's so much more fun. If I wanted to absolutely put every advantage in my favor, I would play on controller. But I enjoy the game and killing people so much more when I use a keyboard and mouse because it's so much more rewarding.
You're welcome.
That's why I use it. Even though a guy with cold-blooded and tracker who's a level 50 who's played 4 hours total on Warzone can kill me, it doesn't matter
Well,
because I have
Get good, idiot.
Well, most likely they're shooting at that point.
Jake, how about this? Overall, which one do you think is better, keyboard or controller?
controller 100%.
Controller.
The Argent of Merit. Argent of Merit. Jesus Christ.
Margin for
Error.
Bar-
Yeah, that. The
Interesting.
margin of error. You can fuck up on controller and still get the kill so much more often than keyboard and mouse. Is the
Mhm.
bear? That's really kind of the bottom of the. That's what it all comes down to.
I think the biggest thing out of this is the reactivity of how aim assist works. Like,
big point. True.
Yeah.
Preach.
so like think of somebody 80-80, right? Going back and forth.
Yep.
There somebody can be able to hold that down and it be able to track that pretty easily. Which is, I mean, it's fine. It's part of the mechanics, I guess. But like think about somebody, I think the biggest example of this is say a controller player, and I see this daily. A controller player is holding an angle where they don't see you. Come across the corner, literally 400 millisecond reaction time, and they're full tracking you, and they don't even realize you're on their screen yet. Like,
Yeah.
that is the biggest issue with that.
That's the biggest
How
thing
many
Raz and I
times have
always
said
say.
it, dude?
Is you really don't realize how strong it is until you have to start tracking and notice immediately when somebody comes around the corner. That's, I think, one of the biggest things is you don't even have to react almost, because it starts essentially before you can do it does it for you.
Dude, I've said it so many times. True, dude.
Holy
Yes.
Change your voice.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Hold on.
Get a
How many
new
times-
voice, please.
Hold on. I've said this ad nauseum on this podcast. This is one of the most annoying things about being in the gulag against someone who is on the sticks. It's not your fault you use a controller. It's not your fault aim assist functions this way. I'm not impugning you. However, if you're on the sticks with aim assist and you pre-aim a corner, an angle on a controller, and I run by it, you will automatically start tracking me before your brain has registered that I'm there. Literally. Because it's instant. Because it's a machine. Right? That's how it works. In fact, it is possible, probable, certain, in fact, that there are frames that exist, hertz tick rates, where I have crossed the threshold. I'm literally not even on your screen yet, and your reticle starts moving before I'm even visible, because it's a machine and it knows I'm there,
Rotational aim assist.
and it automatically starts tracking me before you even know I'm there. Meanwhile, me, this dumb asshole who has the audacity to use a mouse, cringe, idiot.
Cringe.
If I'm holding an angle and you fucking slam around it, I have to react to that. Not if I'm on a controller. It will automatically start tracking. So the only reaction time with the controller is to start firing, but not to aim and not to track. And it is reactivity, exactly as Radon said. True, dude.
Oh,
true.
God, that's so
fucking
annoying
men,
sounding when
brother.
you say true like that. Holy shit.
I love it.
Get a new voice.
Brother. Holy
then
shit, it makes me furious, dude. But it's not your fault if you use a controller. It's just how aim assist works. It's Activision's fault because it makes me mauled, and it's a giant it's a giant advantage of having aim assist. Is instant reactivity, instant reaction time. Not fast, it's instant. It's literally instant. It's not a fast reaction time. You have an instant reaction time.
Never misclicked a file though.
Yes.
Well, perhaps that's true. Yeah.
All I have to say on the aim assist point is I've been playing controller for 13 years, for example, since I was 8 years old or whatever. And in Warzone, it's more prevalent than ever. But say I'm in the old map where this is a perfect example. I'm remembering in my mind. But when I was on the old map in airport, there were the old wood boxes by that one buy station in the middle of the runway, right? And
yeah,
I used to just ADS with my AMAX. I would just swipe. If I knew someone was hiding behind those boxes, I would just swipe, and I would know which side of the box the guy was hiding behind. I'd be like, oh, he's behind the right side, because I know my aim assist is tugging on that right side of the box. And I would only know that since I've been playing for 10 plus years, right?
That's crazy.
If you're playing for a year on controller, like my 0.6 KD players that I play with often, they don't know that kind of stuff. They just aim, shoot. They miss 50 bullets of their kilo, right? and they just lose the gunfight because they're trash. But if you know how to play the game and you have aim assist on your side, you can exploit the shit out of it. And there's a lot of soft surfaces in the game that the aim assist will track onto. For example, the wooden boxes. I would just aim. I would know, okay, I'm calling out. He's on the right side of the box. 2 seconds later, my buddy with a 2-3 KD, he just has the sniper. He's on the right side of the box. He peeks. He blows his head off.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're good at the game and you understand every little niche thing about the video game, the aim assist will carry you through a lot of situations. But if you're a noob and you have aim assist, it won't make any type of difference. You know what
totally
I mean?
agree with that. That's completely true as well. And again, I'm not shitting on people who use a controller. Most people do, as they should. It's a fucking video game. Have fun, relax. If I wanted to have fun playing video games, I would use a controller as well. But I'm a masochist. No, but in all seriousness, it's not like, look, we're not shitting on people who use a controller or people who turn on aim assist. Controllers need aim assist. I will always say that. They do. And if they didn't have it, then it would be wildly unfair, and keyboard and mouse would be far superior.
And my KD would be 10.0 in Warzone if they didn't have it. Yeah.
Well,
because it wouldn't even be fair.
So controllers do need aim assist, but there are inherent difficulties balancing that with players who are on keyboard and mouse. And there are going to be advantages and disadvantages. We are merely lamenting some of the advantages of aim assist. It doesn't mean we are saying remove aim assist. And again, keyboard and mouse players do have advantages as well. The biggest one, long range tracking and sniping. You definitely would prefer to have a mouse in those situations
100%.
than a controller. But it is nonetheless very frustrating to be in the gulag with someone on the sticks. It's tough. It's tough. So anyway.
I would say then, as a AAA developer, why would I go back to the old way? I'll just separate everyone based on their input.
Cubicle crawls.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've seen the light. Thank you for all of that.
Money. So Blackout. Let's look at Blackout as a case study. The most recent BR that did not have crossplay If you played on PC and you played Blackout, no, you didn't, because no one played it anymore because there wasn't crossplay. So I would rather play with controller users, even if aim assist is maybe stronger than I'd like, because at least I can get in a game that way, and I might get dunked on in the gulag. Okay, fine. At least I can play the game. But in Blackout, the PC community just fucking died 6 months in, and then you literally couldn't find a game. And the paywall is another. That's a great point, Raiden. Yeah, there was the paywall as well. But even if there weren't a paywall, it would be a much. The community, I think, the health of the population would be much worse were it not for crossplay. I don't think you should separate. I don't think turning off crossplay is the answer.
No.
They definitely won't do it for commercial reasons, which makes sense. And I think that's probably the right play, because the reality is, and as Tanner and I have talked about, if you want to play Warzone competitively, don't use a keyboard and mouse. And if you try to, it's your fault. You should know better. And I'm not kidding, because both keyboard and mouse and controller have pros and cons. However, the scales tilt in the way of controller if you wanted to be a professional competitive player. This, I think, is undeniably true. Look at the highest earners. Probably 10 out of the top 10 are on controller.
No, not even 10.
Yeah.
Oh, at 10 out of the top 10. Yeah, I thought you said 10 out of the top 20. Yeah, I was going to say probably about 18 out of the top 20 earners are on controller for Warzone. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a coincidence. I mean, it's probably because the scales tip in that direction.
Yeah.
So,
and also more people use it. Yeah.
And also more people use it, which is a fair point as well. But yeah, I don't think disabling crossplay is the thing, because like there is, if we were doing like super strict fucking tournaments and shit, obviously don't have crossplay. It's impossible to balance. Aim assist is either going to be too good or not good enough.
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfectly balanced. It's not possible. You can't do it.
Yeah.
That's another thing with that I never understood, like competing money wise, is like how controller players and keyboard and mouse players are competing for money when there's obviously, going to be a disadvantage on either side, no matter what game it is. Like, just base core of that, I just feel like it makes no sense to compete for money for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because I heard Shroud talk about that before, and he's like, it just doesn't make any sense, regardless of who has the advantage.
I don't think either side cares, because all those guys are making money anyways, so they just don't care.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if it was like, if they were doing private lobbies, there would be way more pros on controller, obviously, than on KBAM. It'd be like hard to fill custom private professional lobbies that are on KBAM, because there's not very many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd like to know the number on that, by the way, too, on how many controller versus KBAM players there are.
In the professional scene, that would be interesting. Like, how many players who have earned greater than whatever $5,000 are on KBAM versus the sticks? That would be interesting.
I feel like most are on controller.
Well, definitely,
like, no
most
matter,
are on controller.
Yeah, but just from the inherent benefits of controller, I feel like the movement, the aim assist, the close quarters engagements, just everything just overweighs being able to snap the fuck on target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because so many gunfights. Here's another thing too, by the way. If the Warzone map was a PUBG map, that might not be true. If the map was way more open, then the advantage, even with the same amount of aim assist, the advantage might tip toward keyboard and mouse, because so many more gunfights take place out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would have the advantage. But the way that Verdansk is designed, with how many buildings there are, that forces so many gunfights into buildings that aim assist gets the advantage, because most gunfights take place in those ranges. But if it was a PUBG match, would it be therefore at that point preferable to be on keyboard and mouse? I could certainly see that being true.
Yeah, for example, whenever I see a PUBG clip or like a win or something, they're usually using a sniper rifle, which I assume I've only played a little bit on Keybam so far, maybe I don't know, a lot of hours, but 2 weeks total. I don't know how much game time on Valorant, but I've sniped a bit, and sniping is really fun on KBAM, and I definitely think it's better on KBAM than controller for long range. But like on certain maps, I feel like sniping is way better for KBAM, especially for PUBG maps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
All right.
God.
I'm getting some community feedback that people love that, so I'm giving people what they
I don't
want.
like it.
Well,
Do it more.
I don't care what Tanner wants, so that's fine. We'll keep it up.
Sure.
All right. That's it, boys and girls. Now, before we head off here, I would like to thank each and every one of our very dear guests, participants, contributors. This has been an exceptionally fun and exciting discussion. I deeply enjoyed it. It went as well and better than I had expected it to, which is great. A lot of new faces. Everyone did very, very well, and I really appreciate each and every one of your guys' time. And for those of you listening, okay, well, this is community feedback I'll be editing out in the chat. For those of you listening, we hope that you learn something, perhaps, maybe have a different perspective, some things to mull over, think about, or at least, at the very least, we hope you were at least entertained by the shenanigans that transpired this evening. None of them rise to the level of Activision office shenanigans, but nonetheless, they were pretty wild and we had fun. And we hope you enjoyed it, and no one was victimized, as far as I know. So, before we sign off here, let's get some conclusions and some plugs from our dear guests. Again, thank you guys for your time. Dr. J Webb, who are you? Where can people find you? What would you like to plug?
So I would like to plug Political Hacks podcast. You can find Face and I there. We argue all the time about different shit. Raz and Tanner do stop by here and there, but you can find me. Of course, it's a great Political Hacks.
It is, yeah.
It is.
You guys are political hacks, that's for sure. Yeah,
It is actually an interesting podcast, by the way, for the listeners, and I'm not just saying that because we know them. It is an interesting podcast. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So where can people find that? Is that on every podcast app? Is there a YouTube channel? Is there a Twitch stream?
I would like to defer to Face Esquire.
Okay, great. Face, where can the people
J-Web
find
can't finish any more sentences.
My podcast host doesn't know where to find our podcast, so it's fine. But just search Political Hacks Podcast on YouTube. We got a Discord channel. Go check it out on your favorite podcast app, to which the podcast will be downloaded. Political Hacks. I'm Face Esquire. I'm on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. That's pretty much it.
Esquire. And for those of you who are not in the deep south, the name of the podcast is Political Hacks. Those were the words he said.
Was that not legible or
they were completely understandable to me. I don't know what he means.
Well,
kind of ableist.
There was some. I'm not calling him disabled. That was kind of. That was kind
you're
of
saying he's from the south, so you're thinking he's disabled.
No,
that's what you said.
No, I'm saying he has a very thick accent, and there was a lot of there was a lot of honey on that.
There wasn't.
There
wasn't at all. It was completely understandable. We'll move on.
POLITICAL space HACKS. Search them on a podcast app and you'll find it. Make sure you rate them 5 stars on iTunes. This is something they should be saying, but they're not, because you want to be high.
I say it
up.
every episode twice. So
okay, well, twice is a lot. Yeah, that's very good for the algorithm. So rate them on iTunes 5 stars. After, of course, you've listened and deemed it worthy of your time and attention, which I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. It is actually very good, as Tanner alluded to. If you're into to politics and you're an adult, as a small minority of you are, listening. All right, Jax, where can the people find you?
People can find me at YouTube. Go Crazy Jax, all one word. Capital GCJ. That's with an X, not CKS. And yeah, just a lot of 20 bomb gameplays on there. I've been slowly transitioning. I've been getting a lot of clips, just gathering a lot of clips of just other games I've been playing, trying to make funny moments, compilations, highlights. Just I haven't posted recently, but a lot of the older videos that I've posted are still relevant today on like what's meta, what to do in certain situations, and just how to play around the map and stuff like that. So Go Crazy Jax on YouTube. That's where you can find me.
Huge. All right, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Raiden, where can the people find you?
Just Raiden PC on YouTube. Daily uploads, easy.
RAIDON. Yeah. And you've
It's
been on
Radon.
that, whatever it is. You've been on that YouTube grind heavy. Is that
Dude,
correct?
it's summertime and I don't want to go back to school, so we're grinding out this last month. So making it last. It's been more enjoyable than I ever thought it would have been. So it's fun, dude.
Yeah.
Content creation is fun.
It is. It's
Playing
a
the
grind,
game isn't
but it is
fun. Making the content though.
Yeah, yeah. Amen. Amen. And you said daily uploads. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Huge. Daily
Huge.
uploads. Check him out. RAIDON PC. He is better than you'll ever hope to be at this game, listener. Who are you listening? Doesn't matter. He's better than you. And it's irrelevant who you are because he's better than you, I promise. He's on Team EXE. You can check them out as well on YouTube. You can find their Twitter account at This Is Team EXE, all one word. Check the boys out. Give them some love. If you've been listening for any length of time, you know how much I am the S word for them, SIMP, simp. Don't ban me, Twitch admins. But yeah, Team
Gone
EXE,
forever.
Radon PC. Check him out. Huge fan of his. And then Jacob, where can the people find you?
You can watch me lose all my loot in Tarkov on Twitch at Jakedown, JAKEDOWN. You can watch Raz and Tanner steal all my loot after they shoot me in the back of the head.
Sure.
The shotgun.
Sure.
Yeah. There, or you can occasionally watch me bitch about aim assist and cheaters in Warzone, also on Twitch. Same channel.
Yeah. Yeah, check out Jacob Down. He's genuinely very fucking funny. Maybe the funniest person in the Discord. He makes me laugh
I'm in
a
the
lot.
Discord. So.
Fake news. Fake news.
Okay.
I'm in the Discord, so I don't think so.
Now, I am, of course...
He's a troll. He's a troll.
I am, of course, the #1 proprietor of dank original phrases and sayings. Jake is #2. He's come up with smash hits that you may know, such as "Get Horizontal."
Smash hits.
I think he came up with Little Buddy, didn't he?
Little Buddy, Got Dealt With.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he's got a lot of them.
and
Well,
other
Little Buddy's
absolute
like
classics. And they make me laugh from my belly. Deeply amusing. He's also very good at video games, shooters, Warzone when he plays. He had a weekly KD of 5.0 for like 3 weeks in a row. His lifetime's like 3.
One time.
Okay. Well.
Once upon a time.
Well. Okay. His overall's like 3.5. He's really good. And he's cool. So check him out as well. Check everyone out. Show them some love. Tell them you liked them on this podcast. If you did. And if you didn't, tell them that too, because that would amuse me. And then screenshot it and DM those insults to me. And I'll laugh. Thank you. Other than that, boys and girls, thedropshot.com. You can find all of our links there. If you enjoy the program, Patreon is the best way to support us. You can find the link to the Patreon on our website at thedropshot.com, or you can just go directly there. Patreon.com/thedropshot. All one fucking word. We've got 5 bonus eps a month. We have weekly hangouts. Last night's we enjoyed very deeply. Shout out to Dingo. That was fun talking to you, buddy. And everyone else, I guess, except Jaren. Fuck Jaren. Just kidding.
Fuck Jaren, yeah.
Oh,
Just kidding. No,
whoa.
we love Jaren. He's dying, so I'll be nice to him because he's old. But no, seriously. We do weekly hangouts. We do, again, 5 bonus eps a month. We have many more benefits. And that's the best way for you guys to support the show for us. And it's also the best for you because that's where we provide all of our bonus benefits is through Patreon. And then last but certainly not least, we've got a tournament coming up. Signups are live. You can join the Discord, link your Patreon account, and then you can look for the tournament resources category. And you can see the rules and the sign-up sheet. It is going to be an absolute broadcast, dude. It's going to be a production of biblical proportions.
Wow.
You guys will not want to miss this one, dude. It's going to be a blast. And there's a 500 United States dollar prize pool that is up for grabs. So if you're a patron or if you're not a patron, patreon.com/dropshot, and you can compete for your cut of the winnings. It is a Rebirth Island Resurgence Trios tournament. Once again, join the Discord, see the rules. You can find more details and minutia there. Other than that, boys and girls, thank you all very much for listening to our guests. Thank you again for joining us. For the watchers, thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment for the algorithm, and share it on your Facebook feed if you're old as fuck, as many of you are.
Well.
Have an excellent evening, of course, and as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.
So, we got a lot of love and a lot of support during that broadcast, that roundtable, and to be respectful of our guests' time, I did not acknowledge, thank, and grovel as I should for this support, and I very much appreciate it, and I will do that now, give you the acknowledgments that you very much deserve. So, where was I? Let's try and find out, though. Drunk Tater with the 5 gifted. I believe I gave you thanks, but you deserve it again. So I appreciate it very much, Young King. Leftovers GG with the 200 bits. Much love, dude. Change your name. I stand by that, but I really appreciate the biddies. Very kind of you. Poppy, BT Dub, absolutely change it. 100 bits. Thank you very much, King. King Camper. Speaking of kings, 88, change it, of course. With the 100 bits. Much love, dude. Very kind of you. Thank you very goddamned much. Elcounds resubbing with Prime for 13 absolute months, dude. My invite must have been lost in the mail. Haha, JK. Cool, Elk. Elk was very nice running with ya last night in the Patreon hangout, or running against ya, to be more precise. Thank you very much for the 13 months, dude. Really appreciate you. Honored, humbled, and privileged. And maybe on the next one, buddy. Call me L17, the designer of this beautiful overlay. Resubbed for 15 goddamn months. Huge, dude. I mean, I'm not a new frog, he says. You are indeed not a new frog. You're an old frog in all the ways. You're old. You're an old listener. You're an old man. You're dying, much like Tanner and I. And with your, you know, ever dwindling amount of funds, you've decided to resub for 15 months, and I very much appreciate it. Alley boy, thank you very much, dude. Much love, King. Aussie Menace. The Australian Menace, as his name would suggest. Not a change it. I love it. Resubscribed at tier 2. A tier 2 king. 13 months. Welcome back, Aussie boy. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, brother. You sick cunt. You bloody ripper, as you would say on that prison colony. Aussie with the tier 2. Thank you very much, dude. Sage Legacy, the 100 bits, 160 bits, huge. Thank you, Sage. Much love, King. Very fucking kind of you. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed. P Blue, another month already. Tier 1, 4 months. King shit. Thank you, P Blue. Welcome back, brother. I feel like you've been around for longer than 4 months. Change it. Sub more. Bitch. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, P Blue. Very kind of you. Welcome back. The Vaping Viking. Instrumental to our success. This old man. The Vaping Viking. He has an episode named after him, in fact. He's a part of the Dropshot lore. The Vaping Viking. Resubscribed for 15 goddamn months. At tier 1, he says, sup. Sup, you old bitch. Vike, I love you. More than you know. I appreciate you. You've been extremely generous, as you know. Better than we do, perhaps. Probably not. You probably didn't even notice. Because you're balling out of control. Viking, thank you, dude. Welcome back. 15 months. Honored to have you here. Your gratitude, your generosity is never unappreciated, and I really appreciate it, Vike. So thank you very much, dude. Welcome back. Young Miss Leia resubbed for 11 months. Hi, nerds. Hi, Leia. Thank you very much, Queen. I appreciate you. I hope your new relationship is going well. I'm happy for you. And I'm also happy that you've wasted some more money here with the resub for 11 months. One more month for that new badge, Queen. Thank you very much, young praying mantis princess. Change it. The 11 months. Thank you. Young Dust. Holy shit. The demon from the sticks. 10 gifted subs. Holy shit, Dusty. Owner of 2 cell phones. Liver in the sticks. Raiden, have a great night, dude. Thank you again for joining us, man. I love you. I appreciate you. And if you want me to send this your way as well, DM me on Discord or Twitter, and I will get that done. But yeah, of course, dude. Thank you for coming on, man. It was really great having you. I think this went super well, and you were instrumental in that. So I really appreciate it, dude. It was a lot of fucking fun. And everyone meshed really well, you included. So I really appreciate it, Raiden. Dusty, once again, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. You fucking animal, dude. You animal. You animal. You sticks animal. The chupacabra, maybe. Anyways, Dusty, thank you, dude. I appreciate you. I love you. And welcome back, of course. Glad to have you here as always. And thank you for the 10 gifted. You dumb bitch. Also, get scammed with another 450 fucking biddies, dude. King shit. Get scammed. Love you, buddy. Old Frog. Much appreciated. A lot of love, a lot of support. Glad to have you here and glad to accept your bits, get scammed, and get baited and waste your money. Cringe. Get scammed, thank you, dude. Much love, much appreciation. And to everyone else who watched, listened, is a patron for this episode, I appreciate you as well. And those are the acknowledgments. Kings and queens, I love you. And so does Tanner on his behalf. He might not. Pay me instead of him if you can. So thanks.